Hey everybody, welcome to the 10th point Canadian Highlander weekly tournament series. My name is the Red Mage, and joining me on the line, like for every week, it is my incredible co-host Gosmith. Hi Gosmith.
I'm not mute, I'm just waving.
I was wondering what the hell was going on. It's like, okay. We have 9 players here today. We're gonna do our usual 4 rounds, and we are pretty excited to do the thing, to bring to you some powerful magic. This is the last week of the season. It's gonna be week 10, which means that after these you will have to stay tuned. We're gonna have to schedule a time for the finals with our contestants. We will be in contact through both Twitter and the tournament announcement channel in the Discord. We can use and basically that's where your information on when our next finals is going to be. Speaking of which, actually, since I said the magic Discord word, the Gosmith, why don't you tell me? Oh, hey, Zannty, thanks for the sub.
Dang it, Zannty. No, you just go like, oh, I'll just subscribe just to like really just mess everything up in a nice way. No, but thank you, honestly.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Bailite too, Bailite, thank you so much.
This is awesome.
This is
Thanks,
lovely.
Bailite. Yeah, this is great.
Wholesomeness. Woo! Heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're unsure what this is the 10th point. We're a weekly, more or less, Canadian Highlander tournament series, I suppose.
And
This is the
Blahguy,
10th
this is
and
awesome.
final week, as already mentioned. Person of Blah, thank you. Jesus Christ, we have a hype train. Christ, that's happened before.
We have a hype. We do have a hype
We have a
train.
hype
Holy
train.
smokes!
Damn, guys. Oh, did not expect that. Did not expect that. Wow. Oh,
Sure, motherfucker. Thanks, everybody.
I can't talk because you keep disrupting me. You beautiful people.
What Gosmith means is that we really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Indeed, disrupt. Yeah, so if you're unsure, we are, as I said, a Canadian Highlander tournament organizing group. If you're unsure, Canadian Highlander is a 100 card singleton format, where instead of a ban list, we have a points list, which means the cards have different points values, particularly the most powerful ones like Demonic Tutor, Black Lotus, Crop Rotation. There's somewhere between 1 or I believe the highest currently is 7 points, but it can change depending on what the council decides. So you can maybe have a Mox and a Black Lotus, and that will count as your 10 points instead of being allowed to play any cards. If you're interested in trying this out, or maybe just talking to some people about it, learning more about it, the Discord is a great place to learn about it. We have a link. You'll be able to find the links both for the Canadian Highlander format, for our Discord, and other things in the description of the YouTube video, or if you're watching this live, in the stream chat, where I'm currently posting all the links. Now, usually this is where I'll be posting the link to the next event. However, as Ramesh pointed out, there won't be a next event actually, because currently, because we will be having a finals of the top 8 players of this season 7. That'll be, well, it's not technically confirmed when, but it'll probably be next Sunday or the Sunday after that, most likely. So stay tuned. Again, you'll be able to find out on the Discord at some point.
Yeah. For the finals, since it's an event that is meant to showcase the 8 players that qualified, we just want to make sure that people can make it. So if there is, if people have any like issues, something come up, we might be able to postpone a thing, or maybe we We might want to put it in a different time slot, maybe, and yeah, just test it.
But
Just
we
check
will
on
try to
Discord.
keep it at the usual time. We have been able to more or less the last couple of times. Maybe
Yeah.
like move it a week
Yeah,
or
maybe
two,
like
but like
an hour or so,
it
something
should
like
probably
that.
be the same. And lastly, I think we already kind of discussed this in detail, but if you want to help us out, a subscription is a great way to do that. And you know what? If you have a Twitch Prime, Zannty can't spell. If you have a Twitch Prime, then hello Ollie. If you have a Twitch Prime and you sort of don't feel like you know what to do with it, send it our way. We'll love to have it. And if not, someone else probably would be greatly appreciating that support. Because all that money we get from you guys goes straight to prizes and improving the quality of the stream. This is a non-profit setup. With that out of the way, I think it's about time we get this show on the road.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna hit the start tornamento button.
Futon?
Yes.
Gonna hit the futon, just take a nap. Candace on the instrument, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Keeping the hype train going. Yeehaw.
Yeah, thanks
God, we need to get
everybody.
some emails
This
up.
is incredibly
Note
awesome.
to self. We know what to work on in the between seasons times now.
Yeah.
The emote.
Yeah, the emotes and have a better hype train. We're level 2 hype train. That is so absurd.
Woo!
I really. And there's like emotes that you can do apparently. I don't know. This is wild and mysterious, and I love it.
God, thank you guys.
Yeah, this is awesome.
If you have any questions, always feel free to ask either in the comment section or in the Twitch chat, depending where you are. We'll be happy to, or in the Discord for that sake as well. Parents have gone up now. Let's see, who do we have here? I'm trying to see if there's anyone we have not featured in a while. Bailite hasn't been here.
Yeah, Bailite hasn't been
for the last
here.
couple of weeks.
I'm down to watch some Bailite action.
Yeah.
Wolfgang does have the buy, so if they want to join
I'm
the booth,
free now.
There you go.
We have the double Red Dead Redemption team here.
Yeah, let's see
Both
some
of us
fire
have been
fight
infamous
the.
for playing some Goblin Guides Lightning Bolts.
Yeah, we get to fight our true enemy in Bailite.
Yep. Accurate. So we have currently we will be trying to get the feature match up between Bailite and Brahms. Bailite, I haven't actually seen this week, but presuming he's on his usual stuffs, he's on some sort of like high-end mid-range control Abzan deck, which has a heavy focus on graveyard-based value. So we're talking things like even Emrakul, the Promised End, but also just good old cards like Tarmogoyf, Liliana Last Hope, just path, solid removal spells.
One of the cards I'm actually wondering if he's playing now that Zendikar is legal is the Agadeem's Awakening, which seems like it'll fit
like that
really
seems
well.
like a really solid card if you, especially because I believe Bailite plays Tainted Pact. That's a great way to get a untapped black source in if you want that.
Yeah. What is the? I mean, honestly, he should put Turn Timber Symbiosis in so he can cut that sound forest that we keep giving a hard time for.
Yeah, I think Abzan actually takes advantage of the three best of the.
Yeah. What are their? The red one is the one where you deal damage, right? What's the blue one again?
Yes, the red is Shadow Skull something. I can't remember
Smashing.
the two names. Yeah, Smashing and Shadow Skull, the Broken Hammer or something?
Yeah,
Shattered Paths.
The Shadow Path, not even close. Not sure.
Yeah.
I was like, Hammer wasn't right. I was pretty sure. But yeah, I guess it would be weird. Shadow Skull, the Shadow.
That card is like very interesting that it doesn't hit face, but it hits planeswalkers and creatures. So it's a good card, but not like a game-ending card.
Yeah.
Like a lot
It's
of
not
the
like
other ones
a Banefire or similar way to go face in a late
Yeah.
game. So it's more of a, if you play it in a more like aggressively or mid-range deck, especially if you play an aggressive deck, it's more of a way to just get rid of a couple X toughness, X 1 or 2 toughness creatures perhaps,
Yeah.
and then swing in. More likely to see it in something like probably a red, like just kind of mid-range or some such.
Yeah.
Hello, I am the camera. Beep boop.
You need to go a little lower there, Gosmet.
This better. Oh, see.
I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up. Oh, yeah. You're good. Pixelated, but good. There we go.
Look, I'm trying my best, okay?
Oh, you're gone.
To unpixelate yourself?
Oh, I think that's.
Well, that's just unkind. You're the one who's upscaling the format. I mean, I'm not saying my camera quality is the best, but you know. Yeah, so we mentioned what Bailite is most likely on. Brahms, on the other hand, I actually already seen the list as we did talk it through a bit. They're on a green / red hoof deck. So
the
hoof,
blood
for those
hoof.
who are unfamiliar, is a green-based ramp deck that plays a lot of the cheap green mana dogs. Yes, it does seem like Bailite is on exactly what we thought. And then plays a lot of like solid green cards like Titania, Prime Time, just like some of the best big 5/6 CMC green creatures. And then it tries to curve out with cards like Cradlehoof, like a Hoof, which is a classic game ender from a cube if you played like Legacy or mostly Legacy Cube, I suppose. Where it's a classic game ender, and it's similar in here where you maybe get a couple mana dogs in play. You play a Cradle, Gaia's Cradle, make a bunch of mana, swing in when you cast your giant Cradlehoof, and hopefully kill your opponent. Or you just grind them out with a Planeswalker and a couple of Titanias or whatever.
You see, Bailite's at a little bit of a slow start. He tried to
Yeah, and it does seem like they're missing
land.
their white source, and they have 2 white cards in hand.
No, then they
Well,
did
they do
back
have the
for
birds.
it if they need to.
Yes, but they have the birds. I imagine. Yeah, I do imagine we're gonna see a Tainted Pack depending on what exactly we see slammed here. I expect to see a Titania here.
Yeah.
Because that's just so much pressure.
Yeah.
Question is, how does Bailite want to answer this? Like, there's no chance they're not dealing with it in some manner.
Yeah.
The question is just, do they pact for some answer, or do they want to use the Vindicate as the answer?
I think they packed for whatever comes first, either a white source or an answer.
Yeah.
That's quite a possibility. The thing is, you can't really get a sweeper here easily, because if you get a sweeper, they
You
can
kill
just
your
kinda, like,
white source.
yeah, it'll kill your birds. You could, perhaps... I'm trying to think if there's any way to find something that kills Tatiana without really dealing with your own... Without really letting them have the Misty chance in response. Can't really think of anything off the top.
No, there's no...
At least not something they might play, specifically. There are answers. There are ways to kill it without letting the Misty sack in response. But they're unlikely. So we're just going to go through a couple of cards here. So for people who are unfamiliar, Tainted Pact is a classic 100 card singleton card. As it allows you to flip a card from the top of your library, and then at any point you may stop and keep that card and put it into your hand. All the rest remain exiled, I believe. But if you
unless
cards,
yeah, exactly.
Yes, unless you reveal 2 cards with the same name. So if you reveal a Stoneforge Mystic at some point, and then later on reveal another Stoneforge Mystic, so a card with the same name, then you stop. You don't get any cards, and that's just sad.
Yeah. It is
However,
worth it. Like, normal people, when they play Tainted Pact, their deck is wholly singleton, including basics. Because we're already fully singleton, excluding for basics, right? So, like,
exactly.
You just need to not put, 2 copies of the same basic in your deck, and you're good. Bailite, however, plays 2 forests for reasons that are completely unclear to me, to this day.
I think the line of thought is that you're already playing so many fetches that getting one when you have the Taint Pact is pretty likely. And if you do see a forest, you can just decide, do I really want to risk it? Do I? Like the probability is pretty low that you hit both.
Yeah.
It is
I
low.
feel like the only I feel like it's kind of fine. Like it's not optimal, I agree. And I think the advantages over something like Blood Moon and what Price of Progress have been pretty noticeable for a while in our format. For a long time we had a Blue Moon deck that came back, which is Blood Moon and such. And we had a lot of people playing Mono Red and Price of Progress. So those are both pretty noticeable reasons to play basic lands. But if that's the case, then I'm just left wondering why you won't just like run some different basic land. Maybe I'm not sure how many snow lands. I think it's 7, 2 of each. So 1 snow forest, 2 snow forests, like 2 forest and a snow forest. 1 swarm and a snow swarm. Same for the plains. I imagine is what he's running. I'm not quite sure.
It's
We
very
see
interesting.
a Domri here off the top. Not particularly exciting, but it's a planeswalker.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that they didn't play Reclamation Sage as just an attacker on this empty board last turn.
No, they do.
They're gonna
They
do it
did.
this turn.
Yeah. Oh, you meant last turn.
Yeah. Just kind of played a land it passed. Especially with the Wolf Run, it does actually get in there a lot.
Yeah. Now we just gotta get killed by a Streakmaw. And I think, yep, we're gonna see this Hazuko come down here. Just be a threat and quite a nuisance to this Domri here. And it's gonna be hard to kill. Like, yes, unless you draw like a big 5-drop, which means you can fight. That's a Hazuko that's gonna just stay on board and be quite a menace.
Yeah. Bailite's still got those 2 white cards in hand, but the way they're playing it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like
Currently, this is just Hazuko who's gonna dominate the game, really.
Yeah.
And if they find a white source at any point, that's just gravy. Admittedly, Title Scutter does get noticeably worse when you don't have too many when your opponent doesn't have too many cards on hand.
Yeah.
Just a 2/2 for 2 with the downside of being even an artifact in this case. Yeah,
even another
here.
Any land for Bailite and can start getting advantage out of the graveyard here. Start.
Yep.
Yeah, because
But a white spell, not what you're looking for here in this situation. Kind of boring, kind of bland, kind of useless.
Yeah, can get in with treetop beat.
Can get in with treetop as well, yeah. But you do have to recognize the fact that can give the opponent a trade option if they want to.
Yeah.
Not sure they do. Currently, you can't really trade with the Hazuko, so I think getting hit with the Hazuko on a Domri, making the fight awkward, is what you want to be doing. You're not really, like... Your opponent can still come back in this game, so going for the life total isn't worth it. And staying on the defensive will just let you get hit, destroyed by a Castle Wolf run, possibly.
Ooh, that's a good draw.
Scavenging Ooze is really big here. That's really big. You have, what, currently 4 mana, 5 mana with a Domri, actually? So you can eat up 1, 2 creatures, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you can eat all but 1 creature in the yards right now, if you want to. And you're probably going to, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because suddenly that makes the Hazuko really awkward to activate, because you have a lot less control over what you get. And secondly, that means that's just a big fucking Goyf that's gonna block your Hazuko and its Treetop Village, and be a real pain in the butt alongside a Castle Wolf run afterwards.
Now the question here is, do you leave up Ooze for just if they
I think
draw
you
the
need at
land and
least
try to
1 or
activate?
2 mana of Ooze up, like, at the very least. And I don't think that's a really reason to do anything right now. Like, you're not in a hurry to eat your own graveyard.
No.
I think this is an interesting choice here. I agree with attack. I think it's interesting because you can... Usually, I would be like, if I didn't have the Scouting Ooze here, I'd just be swinging. Just go, trade your tree drop. I'm gonna take it. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I'll move on. But however, since we are in a situation where, like, let's say Scavenging Ooze can use that mana, that brings us a question of, is my mana this turn, probably just this turn, worth it? So that's not quite the right marks there, but at least it is a land mana source, so that does allow the
That
Tazigre
allow
to activate.
Tazigre to start doing its thing, yeah. And like both
Pretty
hits in Bailite's graveyard
Yeah.
are pretty high value.
Something pretty important about Tazigre here is the fact that even if it gets activated, it
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah, it
it'll
will
just
get
go
you
for the
something
land.
unless it flips to lands.
Why would you go for the land?
This
That doesn't
Tazigre.
make much sense, honestly. I figured it was because you wanted to make this Tazigre awkward and not give them a Battle Skull Saint Pact. Most likely the Saint Pact,
I think
considering you know
the
the deck
thought
somewhat.
process is that they probably Bailite probably has more ways to get back the land than anything else, and that they don't want to have to worry about it in the future.
True, but like I feel like you can do that the following turn, if anything.
I mean, if you have the mana, you
Yeah,
should
because-
exile something, and there is an argument that you want to keep your options open. Though, if in response to this Tazigre activation, Brahms had exiled both of the cards in Bailite's graveyard, Bailite would have whiffed here because Tazigre did flip to lands, which is exactly what you want normally, and the opposite of what you want in this case. Tazigre down though. This Battle Skull still uncastable.
Yeah. But it is something they can cast if they draw another non-white source.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking about here is, if I'm in Bailite's seat, how do I get back to this game? Beyond just drawing a land here. Like, I'm being threatened by a giant Scooz here. With a notable Wolf Run and tons of mana backing it up. So that means I either have to play something that can gain me life, in the case of the Battle Skull, or remove spell. Or some sort of jump block big enough to survive. Because I'm not raising, I'm not comboing out, that's not the kind of deck I'm on.
There's a lot of things they can draw to just deal with the Scooz, but probably any
Yeah.
Wrath. Like, I don't know what kind of full
White Souls,
Wrath
that's definitely very
Bailiff.
important.
Oh.
Now, the problem with this is that if you play let's say you just go ahead and kill the Scooz here, because that's lethal, right? Well, then you just kind of die to literally anything else. So you have to play the Battle Skull, because that's the only thing that actually keeps you alive here. I believe. I haven't actually done the math, so that's 4 plus 2, that's 6. Actually, no, you might actually survive, depending on if you activate your Treats on Village.
That's
And
interesting.
of course, on what Brahms draws. Gen Wave, ooh. That's spicy. Yeah, I think you just attack with the Scavenging Ooze here.
Yeah, because you can also pump
Like-
with all
Yeah.
your elves.
Exactly. Actually, what I'm looking to do here is, if they just kind of kill my Scooz to jump block it here. If they jump block it, I might go for the because it will front just trample and just kill him. But if it's 7, that put it at 9. That would be exactly lethal. Quite tempting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
That is
Bailite
what we gotta do.
didn't. Like,
Are they going
it still
to
kind of
all in?
baffles me that this Tainted Pact that was
just kind of
cast
feels
did not find the white source.
like, are you afraid of your opponent getting a couple life, or you're more afraid of like an answer here? And if you're afraid of an answer, then you really should not be using all your mana just to pump it a bit overkill. Like,
I think if you
that's really the question.
Yeah, because you only needed, if they're blocking with Treetop, you only needed.
Now, in all likelihood, you weren't going to do much with the mana either way. But I still feel like that it wasn't really a good reasons to. Oh. I'm unsure. Did they fail to fetch? Did I miss something?
I think there was a misplay on someone's part.
Yeah. I think Bailite might have made a mistake there somewhere.
Mm.
It feels like it.
Unless we missed that their Savannah and Temple Garden got milled.
That is indeed literally every green soul they could have gotten. In that case, yes, they would have been dead. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, white souls.
Yeah.
So they could have gotten those off the Tainted Pact.
Yeah, though it is worth mentioning that like when they fetched there, like half of their deck was gone to the Tainted Pact, so it's unclear.
Yes.
So here's an actually really interesting draw from both players. Bailite has just a solid hand of mana sources, a solid beer in the form of Questing Beast, removal in the form of push, and card advantage and selection in the form of the 2 green, 2 mana spells, both library and grapple with the past. Choo indeed. I like the Questing Beast here. But Brahms, on the other hand, is going to have a tribe into, quite possibly, into tap type, play your Korean Druid, untap it again, tap it again, possibly play a giant Genesis Wave, or maybe just get greedy and wait a turn up additional, depending on what the full state looks like. But imagine we're going to see, they're coming down here, the triplets. Means Reclamation, not the most impactful card here.
No, I think the grapple is what we're gonna see, and then we can possibly see a push to real good.
Yeah, grapple for the fetch to turn on Revolt.
Yeah.
I have returned.
No, you haven't. Shut up. How did the match go?
I won 2-0. There appears to be an error on stream.
An error? What do you mean an error?
It was my end. It said there was a problem, but I refreshed the page now. It works good.
But then you realized that you were the problem all along?
So deep.
I'm actually building a hoof deck right now.
Wait, is Brahms playing hoof?
Green red
yes,
hoof,
indeed. Bloodhoof.
So what is interesting here is that if Bailite wanted to play it safe last turn, they could actually have played it quite safe. I believe.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, they didn't actually have a fish land. I'm wrong. I thought they had a fish land in the graveyard prior to playing the Marsh Flats. They did not. Or did they? Did they play the Marsh Flats? I think they did actually. Because they got a series reclamation, the Marsh Flats, get Marsh Flats, crack Marsh Flats, get a land, and then play the push, which is a guaranteed ram spell that turn. Now, you wouldn't play a natural land drop that way.
This Genesis Wave?
That is Genesis Wave in
That is the Genesis Wave.
That's
now,
interesting.
You
don't see that one
into tap on tap.
That's ambitious.
It is definitely an ambitious card. A card that most people have chosen for good reasons to remove from this deck. Because at the point where you have so much mana, it feels like there's often just better, more consistent cards to play.
Let me put it this way. I'm actually building a hoof deck, right? I was mentioning earlier. It's not this particular version. The way that you build hoof, there's basically there's 3 main different way that you can build depending on, your deck is base green and then you can either splash white, splash red, or splash blue, depending on kind of how you want to want to build your deck. I'm building the version that splashes blue instead of the version that splashes red, but I didn't even consider Genesis Wave as a card that I wanted to run.
I mean, so the other thing is I ran the Magic Club at William & Mary, right? And so shout out to William & Mary Magic Club. If you're in the area, join us.
I didn't even remember to advertise on there today. Might have people walk.
But basically, I built the hoof deck because we built some Highlander decks that the club could have, so we could introduce new players for the club. I mean, we proxied up, of course.
By the way, you should give those decks to Jackson because they probably need to be at the actual club meetings if you're not going to attend them.
When I see Jackson, I will.
No, give them to Jackson before you see him.
Okay. Moving on, so I can continue. When I built this hoof list, I also didn't consider Genesis Wave because it just does not seem good, to put it frankly. It's so much mana. It's so much mana though, but you don't give a crap about value. When you are casting this card for 10 mana, you want to win the game with a hoof. Period.
Yeah. You'd rather put a nail into something.
Yeah,
put a bunch of
it just feels like that at that point.
Like
Like I
this
just play a
finding
card
you,
that just does something.
this finding you
And-
lands in some mana dorks just doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
like I see the Summoner's Pact in the hand, and I'm thinking, okay, 7 mana. What are you getting? Well, with the Genesis Wave, it's just X is 4, which is not very good.
I think X needs to be like 6+ for it to be relevant. Or something.
Yeah.
You might be
later,
fine with 5, but like 4 or less is just not worth it.
like
You have so few cards that are really interesting to add at CMC.
depending
So you
on
can
how your
Summoner's
deck
Pact
is set up.
for-
I've seen like, but this is like more like a commander thing than a Canadian Highlander thing. But like, for example, I've seen decks that were built with essentially a bunch of mana doublers, where you would cast your Genesis Wave, and generally speaking, it would be mana positive, right? Because like you're just doing all of this
Is
garbage.
casting Genesis Wave here? That's not good. You need to deal with this Rakdos.
Exifol 4? Yeah.
This questing beast. Sorry, I was thinking you could get
no.
Rakdos. Rakdos is a good get to deal with this questing beast.
3
that you can
entire
cast.
lands. We did it.
What was the 4th card?
Woodland Bellower.
I mean, I guess this is actually fine if he got 3 lands, right? If he's
Three
not dead
really
here,
bad. Like
if he's not
Oh, I
dead,
love
he
it.
can Summoner's Pact next turn for Hoof, and that probably wins him the game.
that is an option, but I don't think Hoof actually does enough damage here. To be honest,
You literally just need like 3 creatures, and then you win the game with Hoof.
I think that
60.
you might actually pack
oh,
for...
it definitely isn't enough. It definitely isn't enough.
Like, Hoof is not a
23.
reasonable magic card.
Oh,
Although this
no.
Plague Engineer,
So-
this is over.
So-
Back it up.
Yeah. But
Back
for
it
the
up. I mean-
record, if all of Creature's Bailite were untapped, he would survive a hoof at 1 on this board.
Yeah,
Just putting you
like
up.
I was about to
This
say, if
Plague
you're going-
Engineer just ends the game. Like,
I mean, this
it-
game is
yeah,
over, but
Bailite's
I'm just
not-
putting it out there that
it may not in theory be over, but it's pretty close. Like
Yeah,
the Summoner's
like-
Pact can still find Thragtusk, and Thragtusk still keeps him
Yeah.
alive for 2 turns.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's
like
not
like
looking
last
good.
turn you would have gone prime time or something and been fine with that. Like that's pretty where I would have gone last turn. I would have probably gone like prime time, get some sort of like I don't know, like Dark Depths combo and just trade with the creature if I need to. That's pretty the route I would have gone with.
The problem with getting Dark Depths combo with Prime Time is it takes 2 turns to do it, right? You have to. It
think,
takes a really long time. Which maybe it may still be good enough, but there's just it's pretty long with Prime Time. I could not read what Brahms wrote, so I do not know.
So Questing Beast is pretty good, eh?
That makes sense.
I might have added the
Especially
A.
too.
Who?
I
Did
wonder
you
what he's
know
gonna choose here.
Yeah, did you know that Hoof
Run
plays a lot of help?
with me.
So does
particularly
Thragtusk actually keep you alive? You go to 7, you get the block here, and you take
Well,
7, so you need to draw something other than Thragtusk as well.
well,
That's
they
not it.
drew something other than Rakdos, technically. I mean, this is definitely what you meant, right? Wasteland, because Stripland was great.
I mean, maybe Brahms has something that he thinks gets him out of this.
Hornet Queen, let's go.
Hornet Queen doesn't work because it doesn't block Questing Beast.
Oh,
And
right,
he
yeah.
also has 5 attackers.
1, not 2, correct.
Which I guess is fine, but Dragon Lord Artarka, is this good enough actually?
No.
Actually, yes.
1, 2,
good talk. No,
it is.
let's move on.
4.
It's close, but it's not close enough.
No, it's not. He's left with 2 creatures at least,
Yeah.
which is too much. Like,
Yeah,
just
well,
Yeah,
attack,
you can
you're
kill
dead now.
creatures.
yeah, because you could have killed everything but the Courser and the Questing
No, actually, I
Beast.
don't even think you could do that, actually. Oh, and there's just a murders right on the top. It would have mattered.
So the most interesting story for of today, by the way, and we might want to actually make sure to feature that going on, is Luca is currently 9th in our season standings.
All right.
And
Luca has to
he
go
needs
2
to
and
go
2
at least
to knock
2 and 2
Einstein out.
to qualify for the finals. So that is the interesting.
Now,
that is
the other
Thursday.
interesting
So,
race that's going on
we might
is
want
me
to.
and Zimbelman are 1 point away from each other for top 4.
Oh yeah, your guys are fighting for top 4, right? Which comes with
Which
a
is
bye.
also a very interesting race.
Yeah,
so...
it comes with a bye. So yeah, that's also pretty awesome. So we're
Who am I
looking.
fighting? I believe I'm also fighting for first place this week
against Evos.
Is your first play is your first place in endangered? Really?
They're tied for first right now at 81 points.
Evios is lost his. So the reason they wanted to make the web right is that this is the last match that is still going, and both Evios and Luca both lost their first round. So
did Zimbelman win? Does that mean
Zimbelman won? Yeah.
Dang it! Because if we go even, right, then we get the same amount of points, and I lose by 1 point in top 4. This is it's fine. We can play each other. I'll somehow beat Zimbelman, and then that will be enough.
There has to be a better card than go for the throat for Bailite, right?
Red Mage, if you'd be so kind as to give me access to the list for the next round, that'd be kind.
The what list?
The deck lists for reference.
Oh,
I
right.
do not
I'll ship them to you real quick. Give me a sec.
That'd be lovely.
Well, I mean, I guess there's a question. Do you think Go for the Throat is better, or do you think Heartless Act is better? And there's an argument maybe in this meta that Go for the Throat is better.
No, I agree. Go for the Throat is definitely better. Like, the only cards I can think of off the top of my tongue that are notable artifacts are Electronic Tomato, and I refuse to ever call it anything else. Too bad. Someone could
I
translate
would
that.
not have kept this hand from Brahms, but I think it was on a Moldus 6.
Idaho Scholar.
It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Like, there's some pretty notable cards with +1/+1 colors, like Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah, but there's notable cards like Hangerback Walker,
yeah, like
a Beaumont Courier.
Yeah, like some of them fall in both categories. Where like Heartless Act, yes, it can kill them, just indirectly without like them triggering. Like Walking Millicent is a good bit of play. Like that one's pretty good, but like if you give it -3/-3 or remove 3 count specifically with Heartless Act, well, they're just gonna shoot you for free in response if it's gonna die anyway.
The
and if
interesting.
Not, well, congratulations. They still have a Walking Ballista.
Phyrexian Metamorph is another artifact.
Baleful
Strix is an artifact.
You see some play. Like there's definitely like edge cases. I think actually overall, and this of course depends on like what deck you're on specifically. I think often lists just tend to play neither.
Or both.
Yeah, even that. Like what deck is really like heavy on black removal for creatures? Like,
the
honestly,
only
like,
so
I
I currently am playing neither in the only deck that plays a bunch of black removal that I have, which is Blue Black Vault.
Yeah, I'm playing currently. Yeah, I'm currently playing. I believe Go for the Throat or Heartless Act. I'm one of them. Can't remember which one.
And get a Giant Arbor and do garbage with your life.
Like. I think that I think it would play Down in the Lot or Tyrant's Scorn over either, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna interrupt here. We see Finale Devastation cast for X = 0. So that gets you a creature or a creature from your deck will seem to see creature from your deck graveyard.
Yeah.
Will seem to see X or less.
Yep, so it has to get Giant Arbor or another 0 creature.
Kindly please.
Which, I mean, it just feels really bad, though, because it doesn't tap for mana, and this thing has to survive against your opponent who's removed your first 2 dorks. So, like, I just don't have faith this is surviving if I'm bad Brahms. I would have rather just drawn a land or a dork, probably. I do think that this match is not looking great for Brahms so far.
No, Brahms is really, really... desperate here. Like they probably want to go for like just hoping to have a pretty good
I mean,
natural.
if you draw land, you get the grapple. Or you get not grapple. Sorry, you get the Garrick.
Yeah. Well,
which-
honestly, while Garrick is definitely a.
I don't even think that's good though. I think you probably play this tracker and then play land afterwards.
No,
just
if
natural
look,
order.
I think it's either Garrick or natural order. Honestly,
Yeah.
I guess you could natural order get
prime time
Yeah.
for starters.
No, you could get prime time. You could also just get Dragon Lord or Tarka, right? Kill the
Dragon Lord-
Scoos.
It does kill a Scoos, true.
Yeah, I don't know if Dragon Lord is the
I
threat
was
you
just thinking
want here,
prime
though.
time just allows you to get so much mana that you can just start kind of calling for things and such. Cast your actual
Dragon
spells.
Lord is also an 8/8 flying trampler, which
Does kill people.
Yeah.
it puts
But
your opponent
you
on the
also
real
Bailite.
clock to
Bailite
end the
doesn't
game.
Black rule spells. Like Bailite has a decent amount. Like it's not insane.
I mean,
they have played.
I imagine we're going to see this idiot get evoked though this turn, which is
Overall, I think
probably
you
gonna
play
just
that
be
corner no
GG's.
matter what you get. I think that's the correct choice.
yeah.
And then you either have to decide that I want to go all in on like an attacker and just go face with that after killing a scavenger goose, or you have to decide that I
we
try and
could
go a
see
bit more
Sword
game
come down
get,
here.
like my time.
But I
think
don't
those
think
are like-
Sword is good. We do see Sword, it looks like.
Yeah.
That means I'm 100% having the chump block with this tireless tracker.
Yeah,
Exactly. Because it's gonna die to the ping either way. So like, why not just save the 6 damage in the card draw from the opponent?
Now I definitely don't think Dragon
Oh,
Lord
wait,
is...
no, Brahms,
Wait,
please.
Oh, no.
Brahms, come on, my man.
I'm surprised they didn't kill
What are
the
you
Arbiter.
trying to do here? Are you trying to lose the game? Is this your intention? Because if so, you're doing awfully well.
Brahms, no.
So
Like
Atarka is
that
no
at least
longer
would give you a bit of a fighting chance, but now you just kind of like said, no, thank you, I don't need that.
I mean, you still can...
Yeah, you can't target anymore because the sword protects it.
Yeah. It's also just not enough damage with it being a 6/6. Kind of have to get prime time.
I'm gonna just look through the list to see
Maybe...
if there's any. Yeah, prime time, Rurik doesn't.
You
Titania
could get something like Enray's Forerunners. Deal them 7, try to block on the crackback, but I guess it's not going to block because they can eat 2 things, so that's not going to work.
Is there 2 things to eat? I think
yeah,
there's
there's Dryad Arbor because you have to sack it now.
Oh yeah.
Like this is what I'm saying.
Okay,
I
so
think
this can now find Fierce Empath, right? Put that on the battlefield, and then that lets you find another idiot. Vexage is actually good here. This is actually good get Wolf of Bellador. It still trades.
No. I think we're gonna see a card that has destroyed me many a time. Gerard's Verdict get cast.
I do believe so. Yes.
That is because
Don't believe
when
it's gonna be
Bailite
a
casts it, he
reasonable-
targets himself and gains 6 life.
That is what killed me last tournament in the finals.
Yeah, I remember that. We really popped off. It was awesome.
Now I'm curious to see if we see an unearth cycle here first. We don't. I would actually love to see.
What would he unearth though? There's no unearth targets.
No, cycle it to draw a card.
Sorry.
To see if I get some more information that might change my mind.
Yeah, I just think with your opponent having just 2 cards in hand and like could have like Hoof or something in there, it's probably a good idea to just empty their hand.
Yeah, particularly because you have the schools that can just start eating things if you hit double creature.
Yeah, and you do have enough mana to actually grow the ooze outside of the battle.
There's an interesting question. Do you block with Woodland Bellower here, or do you chump with Vexage? I still think you have to block with Woodland Bellower and remove this goose, but then you just don't have anything. Your opponent has 3 cards in hand, and it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, the worst part is, and when you don't know it, there's going to be a fee-free Scoos.
I do not like this block. You lose both of your creatures now.
Yeah, no, this is actually interesting because before you were going to have a free Scoos coming back because you could pump it up to 5/5 trade, then bring it back and pump it once.
You could pump it twice
you
because
do
you'd be
that
putting another creature in the back in the graveyard.
Twice instead, kill both creatures
Yeah.
and bring it back.
It still returns as the same thing because the Rex Sage just wouldn't have gone to the graveyard last time, and now it's going to the graveyard.
Well, yeah,
I
now
think-
you don't get to pump it up immediately, but you have the potential next turn.
I think
But like that
Brahms
doesn't
was
matter really.
misunderestimating the number of activations that.
Oh, he may have
Bailite
seen
had?
3 activations, thinking there were 3 creatures in the bin, and there just weren't.
Yeah.
Well, draw a card, Brahms.
Or may have
And
just seen
be sad.
one activation. Figured they could like double block just to be sure.
Well, I'm definitely playing this Dark Depths here and hoping that I draw into Thespian stage next turn.
That's how you win right now. Like that is
Yeah.
crazy.
That's basically it. So
Yeah, I was gonna say
Well-
earlier when we had the turn for the natural order when we got the 4th mana that I was thinking Dark Depths might have been the get for if you got
Yeah,
Prime
like
Time.
like prime time. Prime time we get some lands. Either like like Dark Depths, like you said, just because like that's just quick luck, while still providing a big boy on the board. Or the like the dragon, just to get rid of these scoos and just have a big threat. I feel like the prime time was the safe play there, specifically because like.
So funnily
Yes,
enough, if Brahms pumps this 3 times here, Dark Depths is not, or Thespian Sage is not even good enough.
Yeah, you mean as a lethal attack?
Yeah.
Specifically.
Well, it's not necessarily as a lethal attack, but just
powerful magic right there.
I would have pumped one more time pretty much always because it just stops your opponent from being able to fetch. It also makes your Fatal Wayfinder lethal next turn. This was a good draw from Brahms, though. It keeps him in this game.
Yeah, the 1 life
Not incredible by
mattered,
means, but it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big deal. Yeah, just
I mean,
a bad land here.
it saves you for a turn. It buys you another turn. It either
Do you actually
trades with the
play a-
Scoos or it forces
He
this.
does not trade. He doesn't trade with Scoos because you'll pump it up. If you look at Bailite,
fair.
yeah, there are at least 3 creatures. I believe 3 creatures, correct? Knight,
Yeah.
Midnight Reaver, and Voices of Resurgence.
Yeah, I didn't see the Knight. There's 3. There's the Knight.
So that puts it at 7/7 territory.
Yeah, I mean, you still
And
have to
then you
block
play
this.
even
It gives you
Skull.
2 chump blockers, though. That's just the big thing, right?
Yep. Particularly, like, it also just makes it so that 1/1 doesn't really want to attack too much. If you find out a creature next turn. So that's also just kind of a random life you gain that way.
So if you peel, I don't know, natural order number 2 from the top of your library, you can get green
you're
Sun
probably
Zenith.
getting called out cheating for starters.
Look, we gotta do what we gotta do.
Team, please stop doing what you gotta do.
It's the first time he's cast
sure
this
you have
without
to.
evoking it.
Yeah, I do like the plan of playing here the Midnight and kind of instead of just pumping the Scoos once more. Just getting another threat on board.
I mean, there's
Just
also
damage.
the argument that you just evoke it here.
I kill the beast, yeah.
Kill the beast. Like
If I do that, I'm winning a turn.
I don't like the concede from here.
It's a 6/6, so I was gonna say, no, that wouldn't be lethal then, unless this is a creature. That would
You still
actually
get
be
the-
lethal if you win a turn then, I believe.
Chump another turn. I guess Dark Depths is getting it increasingly forced to be lethal.
The thing is, if you draw Dark Depths the next turn, you're still dead.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have
Yeah.
to draw something that lets you draw both Dark Depths and something else, which I don't know off the top of my head what it could be, but like if you're playing Wall of Blossoms, you could draw like Wall of Blossoms into Dark Depths, and then you're probably still alive another turn.
So, and this is the first round over. I believe we
The
have
first
the
round
parries.
is over. I was answering some questions in chat about I was answering some question about the tournament structure. Basically, Simbalman was asking, hey, I had like Zannty like mention my name. What's going on? And I was explaining. Well, we're talking about races. Basically, we're talking about how the two of you are kind of locked into this race for 4th. which is kind of relevant because the fourth person will get a buy, and he actually wasn't aware. See, this is the first season, so Simpleman has been with us the whole season. He's been a pretty constant presence this season, but this is his first season, so it's he probably didn't know like exactly what our tournament structure looked like, and for basically the way it's worked is that the way that it ends up working out is that this is kind of like a double elimination, double gauntlet to some effect, and what it boils down to is that first and second enter the tournament with 2 buys, and third and fourth enter the tournament with 1 buy, whereas the 5th through 8th player have to like battle directly from the bottom and do the whole and you know, to win the whole thing they have to go all the way. So it's the difference between fourth and 5th is actually pretty big. Weirdly enough, more than the difference between first and second, which Wolfgang was telling me, right? Oh yeah, there is, Evios and I are racing for first, right? It's like we both have 81 points right now. They're tied. They're like tied completely. What do we do? Well, turns out that the difference between first and second is not that big. You both like you kind of end up with the same number of buys. The first player will enjoy a small advantage in which they will be paired on average against lower seeds. So the first player will end up facing the 4th, 6th, and 7th player on their side of the bracket, I believe. Whereas the second player will have to face against the 3rd and 5th on top of the 8th. So it does mean that you might get a little bit softer competition, but we're talking like it's not like the bracket is designed in such a way to equalize that sort of things. That's why we crisscross where people go. So like it's not that big of a difference. It's designed so that the first seed has it a little bit easier, but not a lot easier. If that makes any sense. With that said, I was kind of absorbed into that particular discussion, so I actually did Bailite get that? No. Who won the round?
I did. Okay.
I'll mark it.
Bailite did indeed win that one.
Okay. Just double checking. And by just double checking, I mean just buying time to figure out where my correct tab is. There you go. I have tabs.
I do have tabs.
Bailite 2-1. Next round.
Probably like. There we go. No, there's no random assessment of the seats. When we know who's first place, like it doesn't matter. Like technically, from a practical perspective, the structure is already set up. The question is just who gets what place and who gets what seat. Yeah,
I have a
I
question.
believe we were doing mostly the same
Yes,
as last season. I don't
Did
believe
Blahguy
we
win last round?
he did.
Okay. Because there's also the chance that me and Simpleman could overtake either Blahguy or Bailite/Wolfgang if one of them loses all of the games and we win all of our games.
Well,
I believe that there is no longer a possibility.
Did Evos win his round? I thought Evos you said lost.
Oh, Evios. Sorry. I thought you said Blahguy. Yeah. No, Evios.
Well,
Evios
Blahguy, Evos, and Wolfgang, right?
Alright.
We could overtake one of the
So-
three of them if we.
What do we want to do for next round? We can watch Evios versus Luca to see if Luca can actually get on the map. And we can watch Wolfgang versus Zannty, which is 2 people that are both at the top. It is a red mirror, which they have proved to be kind of interesting. Or we can watch AStuffyMuffin versus Symbol 2, neither of which are players that we
We had
are...
a mono red mirror last week, so I figured that's at least low on my priority list.
Mm-hmm. So...
feel like we also had a lot of Symbol Man gameplay, to be fair, so I feel like that can also be down
Okay,
by
let's
our
watch
list a bit.
Evius versus Luca. You know what? I'm kind of down.
Also, I kind of want to slam on Luca's list a bit. I just looked at it and it seems questionable.
He
told
me.
I might be a bias.
No. Okay, so Luca contacted me before the tournament, being like, "Oh, I made a slight modification to the list," and I was like, "Okay, what's up?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm cutting Lightning Skelemental for Kessig Wolf," and I was like, "What in the what?"
It hurt my soul when he told me.
With that said,
That's the part that hurt you.
yeah, I mean, I'm more
That's the
concerned.
It's not like the Blood Mad Vampire.
Oh, respect for Bloodman Vampire. It's blood and also man.
I have, but you should probably play it in a list that's pretty good with Madness. And if you think 5 discard out there in a deck makes it a good Madness deck, no, just no. Like this feels like a list that's trying to do too many things and just not doing any of them well. Like it's also playing just subpar threats in a lot of departments. Like it's trying. Like I feel that the advantage of playing a John Aggro deck, like what he's on, is that you get to play a lot of powerful.
Oh no! Wait, we
creatures
can't watch.
comparatively.
We can't watch Roha versus Evius. They don't. Evius doesn't. Wait, Evius doesn't have hand cam.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That
I'll
is
just have to wait
unfortunate.
another tournament, another game to throw shade. And Lucas's deck design choices.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, we get to watch.
The macro deck. Why?
We get to watch him in the
This
background
noise
when
is
he's gonna get some win and ins, so that's kind of interesting.
I kind of want to see this deck list now. It sounds interesting.
It is interesting.
Interesting.
We'll feature
is a
it. Don't
big
worry
thing.
about it.
Yeah,
what do we watch?
this now.
We want to watch some more
I'll
Bale.
make fun of it, but I won't. I think anyone really at this point.
Yeah.
We just saw Bailite, so I would say probably not Bailite.
I'm gonna say that we watch
versus
AStuffyMuffin. Just
Zannty might be fun.
I'm gonna say that we watch. You think you want to watch Zannty?
Yeah.
Well, I figure that they're both on pretty quick decks, so we'll probably get the second half of someone else's games later in the round.
I mean, while you're not wrong, the
take
red
a
v red matchup can take a little.
I might just be.
Oh, is Zannty on red again?
Yeah, Zannty.
I do believe so.
No, this could be
Or-
quite interesting. 'Cause, like,
I'm gonna just switch over to this screen and then switch over to a non-10th point screen so I don't accidentally see anything on stream.
knowing who is
Blahguy has renamed their deck. Might even have Oh, they have actually. Interesting.
Well, you can't block my Storm
Very
Coconut, so
knowing who
They're
is
just
the
blocking
aggro,
mine.
who is the control, and the red deck wins mirror is
That usually just depends on game to game purely.
quite.
Like you can definitely build your deck with that in mind, but the likelihood
This
of
is
you having a
correct.
deck list that's so sufficiently slower or faster isn't likely unless you're specifically going for, say, some variant of the traditional red deck wins list. Like maybe you run a list with notably fewer lands and notably more 1-drops and like such, or you play a list with more 3-drops, maybe even a couple 4-drops beyond Fiery Confluence and more lands.
Yeah.
Like if you do that, that's definitely something that can tend towards choices in the matchup.
I
Or,
believe
like,
it
the
normally depends on just who draws the most burn
Exactly.
spells.
As a rule of thumb, it's exactly who has the hand with 5 remove spells and who has the hand with 4 threats.
Okay, I found their game. We did it. We have done it.
Some of the time, it's
Yeah,
neither.
it's
Some games are just neither. They're both trying to kill. They're both trying to win.
apparently
also
they're
look like
one and Zannty was taking the mick when they said that they were 1-1 already. What do we have here? We have
Well, it looks like
Zannty
to
with
me
a commanding board state.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's an interesting card. So Wolfgang and I have discussed in length if Mutagenic Growth is a card they like. Because I like pump spells. Wolfgang doesn't really love their pump spells. They are on Brute Force. I did manage actually to convince them to play Brute Force because they needed one more card to play. But I'm just looking at this Mutagenic Growth in hand. And I'm just going like, please make a mistake with your Lightning Strike. Please make a mistake with your Fiery Confluence. Please let me punish you somehow and just get you.
Mm.
Now, I don't expect to see that happen specifically due to the awkwardness of Brahms' hand. Like,
There
this
is
is
no
not where
Brahms.
you want your
Yeah.
Stormblood Berserker to be. This is not where you want it.
No. Are you just like casting Fiery Confluence as like 3 damage to everything here and hoping for
I
the
imagine
best?
so, yeah. Honestly.
I know I'm
Yeah, that is
personally a
what it is.
big fan of mutagenic growth in like Blitz style decks, like is it Blitz
Oh, that's absolutely incredible.
or
But I also
Gruul
think
Blitz?
like it's depending on your meta, and also in general personally, but especially if you have a very like burn heavy meta or like aggro or creature combat meta, then suddenly Mutagenic Growth becomes quite good. Like look at this, that's just saving you 3 damage from board at the price of 2 life.
And it's
which is then-
making Stormcroak Noble
Yeah.
in
Particularly if
effect
your
a 4/4,
opponent's trying
which
to,
has
like-
been out of burn range.
I presume we're gonna see a circle get dashed here, get in for 5, have a 4/4
Yeah.
on board, have 2 points of burn in play. Suddenly they can't lightning strike it down anymore. Things starting to look awkward.
I think this is pretty decided.
Yeah, this is gonna be hard for Wolfgang to come back from. Dealing with a 4/4 is like it's just right where you don't want the threat to be. It's the red deck wins
Yeah.
player. You have very few options that deals with that.
Is he on Exquisite Firecraft?
No, we actually talked Wolfgang and I, and we agreed that Exclusive Firecraft is just bad. Like it's way like especially in this metagame, if you don't need the can't be countered badly, you shouldn't be
Yeah.
playing it. There's like literally so much better 3-mana burn spells, and even those 3 aren't worth playing because they're 3 mana.
Yeah,
Just
like
leave
what?
every
What
mana
I mean, are there though? What are the better 3-mana burn spells?
Hmm?
What are the better 3-mana burn spells?
I mean, currently it's the 3 mana deal 3 at instant speed that deals 4 if you pay triple red.
Okay.
From,
That's one. That's basically red, deal 4. No downside. That's Flame Javelin, I guess. Which is also red, deal 4.
Like, Javelin, like
I'm pretty much sure that you're not really playing any 3-mana
Yeah,
burn
I mean
spells.
that would be my
Exactly,
inclination to think if you're not playing any of them.
That is the conclusion that Wolfgang and I both came to. That it's just not worth playing those anymore.
Like,
Unless specifically you're in a control meta or like a blue heavy meta. Where you
now
really
that we
need
have
the
like
can't be
such a density of volcanic hammers and lightning strikes.
Yeah, like volcanic hammers are just that much better. They're that much more flexible at the time when you need to play them. And the difference between a 2 and a 3-mana spell is so huge.
Yeah.
Like even if like I'd probably
Now,
need a
what do
3-mana
we
spell to
think
do
of these
5
mulligans?
at this point, or have some really great upside beyond 4 damage.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at Wolfgang's hand here, and it's looking really great. Turn 1 1-drop into a turn 2 Searing Blaze, or double removal spell.
Seems
Zannty's hand
decent.
here, as far as I can see, is triple 1-drop, double 1-drop, double 1-mana removal spell. And on a draw, that also seems fine. 3-drop a bit
Yeah.
awkward, braid a bit slow, but hand seems quite solid.
Not having that second land could prove awkward.
It could definitely be a problem here. We do find it actually, so it doesn't matter. Not the best draw from either of them. Both of them having lands that can hurt them.
Yeah.
It will hurt them. I do like the choice actually to play the Firebolt here. You could play the Gitu Lava Manta, but like getting it killed here would just leave you in a bad position where you have to kill the creature and definitely turn that away. Now you get to go put the pressure back on your opponent. WolfgangCloud realizing that they really should be cracking the fetch when they have a Searing Blaze in hand. We are probably going to see that Searing Blaze.
Yeah.
Yep,
The fetch
Good
making the
concept.
Searing Blaze on when you need it to be
Yes,
on
exactly.
is quite nice.
Likely also seeing the Phoenix come back here. the turn end. This is a situation where like the Phoenix is like it's not insane by any means, but it's good, particularly because like it makes the shocks and the braids just that bit worse. Bone Crusher Giant also quite good. But I imagine we're going to see the Phoenix here. Next turn, we're just going to keep swinging with the Phoenix. And probably just leave up.
I imagine there's a chance that the Phoenix gets wild slashed.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance. I don't expect it to, though.
Unless Zannty draws a land here.
Yeah, if we see a land, I would love to see it. Oh, I would actually love to see this carry itself come down here. Personally. Because if you want to play a remove build at some point, then suddenly that Lava Runner has haste.
Yeah.
You could make the argument that killing the Phoenix here is going to save you a lot of life, but it really isn't. It's 2 damage, and if they want to pump it, well, that's an entire turn spent just dealing 2 additional damage. Like, yeah, they didn't play a card in it, but like, really, was that worth it? Get another great card here, Searing Blood. This is also
kill this Rakdos cat probably.
Yeah. So Wolfgang and I, as I mentioned, had a lengthy discussion here recently about like what kind of cards do we play in specifically the 10-point meta. What cards do we like in general? Talked a lot about the many new cards from Zendikar Risings that had potential in mono red. Some of which we already agreed should just be played. No questions.
I think it's interesting in the 10-point meta that it's been a long while since we've seen any death and taxes.
Indeed. That's a deck I think would actually be it's strange. I don't think it's that incredibly placed actually. It's good, but I don't think it's as well placed as people think because there's a lot of green X decks, and that's not really what you want to be up against as a D&T deck because they just play bigger creatures than you do.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the D&T players have moved on to the green X decks.
Yeah. So the question you have, I think if you want to really break the 10-point as it is right now is you want to ask yourself, how do I beat the pod and like green midrange and ram decks? So the green X creature decks, and how do I beat mono red? Those are the 2 questions you have to ask yourself. If you find a deck that does both of those fairly consistently, you're looking at a really solid deck.
Honestly, like if I wanted to just have game about the all of the like slower Abzan deck and like creatures deck, I would just learn how to play Black Lotus decks. That's the type of things they would. But the problem is that I don't think that
like or similar is that while it's definitely not bad matchup against mono red.
The problem is that I don't think that the Black Lotus deck are that good against mono red. That's the problem.
Yeah, like it's fine. Like. But mono red is just like it's just that bit more consistent.
It's just
like especially though that being said, if your opponent's playing Steering Blazes and the braids and such, not so much a braid though. A braid can be relevant in the Storm matchup. But Steering Blaze and Steering Blot, then you're probably kind of happy about that at least. Fiery Confluence is not nearly as relevant because game to 4 mana against Storm when you need to be coming out, killing them on turn 4 most likely, definitely a lot tougher.
I think perhaps a well-placed thing against both your green X mid-range decks and your mono red decks is just like your A plus B combos, like your Time Vaults or your Oracles.
Oh yeah, you could.
Where against mono red you can race to your combo, and against your green decks you can sort of play the control plan.
The problem with those decks.
I agree on you because those decks are really good. But the problem is, as someone
I don't think that those decks are that easy of a time beating mono red. Like I think it's like it's not as hopeless as it is like playing regular control decks, a regular control deck. But I don't think it's great still.
No, I mean any day of the week I would not want to be playing Time Vault or similar decks against an aggro deck.
Like I think that people look at Time Vault and the way overestimate how much of a combo deck Time Vault is. Time Vault is a control deck with a combo finish. It is not.
No, I disagree actually. I view it completely opposite. That I view it as a combo deck that has a control matchup. Has a
No.
control ability.
I mean, I think it can be built in different ways, but like I think that the
Yeah, you
The
can build
way-
it in both ways depending on how
but
much.
I think that the
shooters
way
you
that
put
makes a
in.
deck better is to build a control deck that happens to
Yeah.
finish the game with a combo.
At least if you're up against decks like Mono Red or similar, where you have to be fast, then you are a combo deck that just happens to
Yeah.
have a couple control elements.
In this
And then you
and
stop
in that
playing,
case you
like-
just stop playing Time Bomb. Like because that's the
Agree.
problem. I don't think
I
that's
completely agree.
I don't think that that's a that like when you bend the deck to try and work that way, it just stops working well. So at that point, I think that you are incentivized to just pivot to a different deck.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what Wolfgang actually blocks here. The 2/1 token that disappears or the 1/1 that stays around. Yep, they make the wise choice, killing the one that stays around actually. I imagine we're gonna see both the Warboss and Karathev get killed here next turn. And then possibly swing in. But I like swinging in here actually. Especially with a land here, I think you have to swing.
I think like 14 is a pretty comfortable life total, but swinging is pretty good here.
Especially considering you're gonna be ahead once you swing with your big boy. I'm curious actually to see if Wolfgang's gonna go ahead and immediately lightning bolt here.
Yeah, because he has
is
lethal
because it's lethal.
burn.
Exactly, yeah. I somehow miscounted. Wait, wouldn't they have left? Oh right, I forgot the free damage from the Searing Blood. See, I played a lot of mono red. I'm gonna blame it on commentating.
All right, let's watch the finales. The finals.
Okay.
The finales.
So, yeah. Interesting game
As far as I'm
3.
aware, I don't believe any matches are over currently. Seems they are all still going in the background. Just a reference. So we should be able to find something afterwards.
Yeah, I believe they're all still going.
Yeah, no, I don't see anything reported in the match report.
No one has reported anything.
Yeah. So.
Get hands in a sec.
So let's see here. Wolfgang, that's going to be a pretty easy mulligan. No lands. Pretty simple mulligan.
Zannty, I believe,
I
is
do
kept.
quite like Zannty. It's definitely not incredible. But Young Pyromancer plus a burn spell is just a solid play.
It's like on the play.
I believe Zannty is on draw, correct?
Zannty is on the play, so they're going to get to turn 1 this Young Pyromancer
Not worth the play.
into turn 2, potentially Ancrop Crasher, and just outpace Wolfgang.
Yeah. I think I'm still keeping that hand specifically because like it's just solid. It's not incredible by any stretch of the imagination, especially only having one red source is really awkward.
Yeah, but everything in your hand
like,
is single red.
It's kind of it'll do. Like looking at it, you're like, fine. Now it's kind of sad that the opponent has the 1 mana, just drawing the perfect burn spell here, basically. Love Dart, just right off the top.
Just
Now
beautiful.
let's see. I presume Sandy's gonna crash in here. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Are you gonna? Yep. Good choice. Doesn't play a strip mine. Doesn't see a reason to reveal it.
Now next turn, if you're Zannty, are you strip mining?
So depending on what I see I'm going to be doing, if they just go pass, I'm swinging and then seeing what happens. I presume we see a mountain here just because you want to keep the fetches to last, unless you really have a reason to need them. The Phoenix is a reason to play fetches as well, if you're on that consideration.
Interestingly, shocking the Ancrop Crasher during your own turn.
Consider here, depending on what I draw. If I draw a threat here, yeah. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing a strip mine. I'm killing their mountain, going to second main, and then I'm playing my threat, passing the turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you should not play a creature here. Your opponent's acting like they may have a second 1 mana burn spell.
Yeah. Which they don't, but
So it's
you know.
actually interesting. From the Wolfgang's perspective, I think I would actually come with a 2-drop here instead. Just taking the possible free damage if they wanted to. I think I'm also just the type of person who wants to like establish the board before
Yeah.
trading away.
The orc could
Because like
block
now you
if
put
you need it to.
like they have to prioritize how important the land is. I'm curious to see if we're going to see a land sack here. I imagine so, actually. At least when the bolt comes down, there should come a bolt down here. Yep, seems like it. Zannty takes 2. So I'm imagining the lava dart here, because if you allow this Stormkirk to just get in there with Circle, makes a lot of sense.
I think
So
with
definitely
Burst Lightning in hand, you might just want to Burst Lightning
Yeah, like, this definitely
Stormkirk.
keep the land around. You need that third mana source for the Phoenix of Ash. That's the third mana source. So here's an interesting question: do you just cast the Phoenix? It seems not this decision the Wolfgang's gonna make, which definitely does mean that they don't have anything to do this turn. But luckily for them, never mind. I was gonna say there's not gonna be much from Zannty, but then we see another one shot. Accompanying the Circle here, just putting them down to 10. This is definitely one of the more grindy games we're gonna see here. Showing off like what can a big wins matchup be, like really like when do you play the rules well, when do you play a threat. This is, in my opinion, like the best kind of Magic. One of the reasons I really like playing Aggro decks is you have these kind of games where like you get to decide when are you the aggro, when are you the defense, seeing when the tide shift, and being able to plan around it. It does have the downside of it being a bit top decky at times, depending on like format and deck.
Now, interestingly, Wolfgang didn't keep the Phoenix back to potentially block Zergo.
So I personally kind of I can't remember. Is the Phoenix 3 or 4 mana to?
It's 4 mana and 3 cards.
Yeah. So I believe there's actually an argument for just killing it here, getting it for 2, playing a Circle, because of that specifically.
Yeah.
Alternatively, you could play an Ash Salad and pass a turn, I suppose, but that's just kind of awkward wise.
Yeah.
The argument for playing the Ash Salad is that if you do that, then your plan is to next turn, hopefully either dash Zergo or just cast it and then Royal Russian either a blocker or just going face and just going in for as much damage as possible. This is a safer choice, which especially with a Lava Darling Yard, I kind of like this because that means that gives my opponent less flexibility in how they play that game. Now they can't really activate it unless they draw on a land. If they draw on a land, well, don't get me wrong, a free flyer is pretty good, but it's not like the end of the world by any stretch of the imagination.
Interestingly, the second paragraph of text on Ash Zealot may prove relevant.
Yeah, it makes casting this Phoenix from the graveyard real awkward.
Especially when you don't need to cast.
It also makes Lava Dart.
We're seeing here. We're probably just gonna see a Ash Zealot come down here. Now noticeably, you can double block the Ash Zealot if that's the only thing that's attacking, and trade the either the Phoenix or the Earth Shaker.
I find it kind of cute that the cards Ash Zealot and Phoenix of Ash actually have non-trivial interactions with each other.
True. So I actually really hate this attack.
Yeah.
So I feel like
it's fine. This attack hates you.
They kind of need it back here. I'm not sure why Wolfgang thinks they can be aggressive. Like you have to hope at this point your opponent doesn't have too much burn.
I think maybe they've given up hope and are just wanting to perform game actions.
I do like performing game actions.
Yeah, I guess you just kill the Zergo here.
Yeah.
Play your and now you're kind of dead. You Scorch Bitter in 2 turns.
Well, you can't play your Phoenix, so you're pretty much just dead now. Because playing Phoenix would kill you.
Oh, you take 2. That's good. That's a good point. Yeah, right.
You take 3 from Ash.
That is one of those abilities
we have
just so rarely comes up. But when it does, you're like, oh right, yeah, 2 damage. God.
We have.
And I believe WolfgangCloud has once goozled himself with his own Ash Solar
We have.
and Phoenix.
We have.
Here's some results I
Oh my god. We have a very important result
You-
from the back tables, which
Yeah.
means that which Evios beat Luca 2-0. That means that Evios is solidified in with either the first or second position. It's now no longer possible for the third or fourth place people to overtake him. That was only gonna be a thing. Oh, maybe Blahguy can still overtake him. Actually, now that I think about it, but no longer. But also that also means that the window for Luca to actually qualify is getting narrower and narrower as he is now going to be relegated to the O2 bracket. He's going to have
He
a
will
bye.
probably get the bye in the next round.
Yeah, he's
though.
probably gonna get the bye
Like
next
that-
round.
needs to go 2-2
Mhm.
to be in the top 8 specifically.
Yeah, Luca needs to win at least 2 rounds in order to qualify for the top 8. Correct.
Yeah.
Because if they only go 1-3, that means they get 5 points, which puts them at an exact tie with Einstein currently.
Einstein is 6 points ahead.
I believe StuffyMuffin
yeah,
versus Symbolman is still ongoing. If
Yeah,
you want to
I
view
was
another game.
I was moving to it.
Which appears to be Enchantress versus Pod.
Oh, StuffyMuffin is still on his Enchantress list.
It seems so, yes.
Cool.
And specifically when we're talking pod here, we're talking not just the band pod, which some people have been playing, but the full formula band. The full band.
It is like
four-color
the greedy
hat
cheeky type lists.
Yeah, the good old Kiki lists with all the colors.
It's not greedy Jiki lists, because the greedy Jiki lists don't
That's
actually
fine.
play red and are able to get Jiki into play
Is that the
without
definition of
casting
what?
in.
This is the matchup where I'm like, I'm if I'm StuffyMuffin, I do have a couple ways to like enable the combo. Disable the combo, like, but I don't think it matters too much. Because quite frankly, if I'm stopping the combo temporarily, they can just find a couple of jam removal spells, call it a day, possibly beat me down. Like we see the Ghost of Prison getting destroyed here, and even though you can't combo through the Blind Obedience, you can still get beat down by a bunch of dorks.
Yeah. Which is
Even the Academy Rex.
Or never mind, Symbolman got it. Okay, there you go.
okay. That game has ended. Do we have any more games going on? Blahguy versus Bailite appears to still be going on. We're whizzing through the games now.
Unless
No real reason,
yeah,
so
no, they had probably enough time to play game 3 in the same match. That's the part I was not so sure about.
Well, Simpleman's 1-1. Come on, let's go, StuffyMuffin.
No, StuffyMuffin I think just won it. Just won the match.
Yep.
And
yeah,
Symbolman won. No, wait.
Blahguy
Symbolman
and
won.
Bailite are 1
Symbolman
and
won.
1
Yeah,
currently.
Symbolman won.
Yeah. Going into the beginning of game 3, so we're going to get pretty much an entire game here.
Bailite v Blahguy. Let me remote.
Come on, Luca. I have faith. You can win your last 2 matches. You can do it.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is probably gonna be a bye. You kind of only need to win one.
I think I'm going to leave the commentary booth here and nip and get some food before the next round, if everyone's cool with that.
Sounds like a solid plan. Good luck with that.
You can make a ham sandwich.
No, I've got some lasagna I'm going to reheat.
Oh man, I love lasagna.
So there appears to be a Charming Push versus an Ash Zealot. Or no, I don't know what card this is. It's not an Ash Zealot.
It is a Keldon Marauders.
That's about to vanish away, probably.
Yes, indeed.
If I meet
It
the time
appears to
counters
have
correctly.
one counter.
There is a Tarmogoyf in Bailite's graveyard, which it's kind of interesting how it got there.
I mean, probably with these Thoughtses, if I had to guess.
But I would have thought the Mox Jet would have been Thoughtsseized.
Well, it depends on who went first, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been Gulf Blasted, right? That's a possibility. If it was played like...
Can I just say, reanimating this Tarmogoyf seems like it would have been an amazing play.
Yeah, what was reanimated?
Don't know.
What even is reanimated?
Can
There's so
anything
many
truly
cards.
be reanimated? Why is this hand so huge? Oh, I know, because it was featuring Team last time, and he plays with tiny hands.
She's like Trump. In that manner,
I'm sorry. Like, I have to share my whole screen. Makes my hand smaller.
No. Even compared to what, like, to the size of the MTGO window, like, your hands are pretty tiny. Like, you keep your hands kind of tiny to begin with.
Oh.
Compared to
I mean, they're pretty large for my screen.
Oh.
Like, maybe I just have a big screen.
Maybe your face has a big face.
That is actually a T-Rex. Who knew?
I will say, the only card I'm confident that I know how it got put in this graveyard is this Arid Mesa found the Scrubland. That's
Yeah,
the
yes,
only
that
thing I will
part,
go on record stating so far.
We understand.
I'm trying to figure out, like, Tarmogoyf would have been, what, a 2...
The only possibility is that this Tarmogoyf got Gulf Blasted somehow.
Here's an option for how the Tarmogoyf went into the graveyard. They blocked or were blocked by Keldon Marauders, and then Keldon Marauders was reanimated back
Oh.
after they Gulf blasted.
And they
Do I
Gulf
think that's a smart
Blasted.
choice? Absolutely not. But it's an option.
Well,
It
if
could-
we
it could
think
happen.
about it, there would be sorcery, land,
Artifact. Freefall.
and artifact when the Tarmogoyf hit, which means, and I don't see Blahguy
I don't know.
having 3 artifacts on the battlefield, so
It would have grown. It would have no, it wouldn't have killed the Keldon Marauders, but it would have gotten the Gulf Blast, so that would have been 5 times exactly. So it would technically be a way to get it into there. However, I don't think it's too.
I also
But I
think
do
this
think-
Gideon Olive Zendikar is kind of running away with this game.
Gideon, and then having answers to any noticeable problems.
Also, you
Is-
just get to vindicate this Black Cleave Cliffs next turn, and it just I think that this match is pretty much over.
Mid-range. So, in case anyone hasn't noticed it, Blahguy usually is on their black-red aggro deck, and I suppose that's technically still true this week. However, they're playing a slightly more specific version of black-red aggro. They're playing black-red warriors, which means they're also playing some classic black and red warriors, such as, let me find the list. 1 second. The one they actually have in hand, whose name I cannot remember, but it's a 3/2 with protection from red. Which
That
is-
is
G. 3/2 for 1 on red. It's a human warrior with pro red. May or may not be a meta call, is my guess. Also playing Sickle Dancer, 2 and a black for 3/2 human
There's
warrior.
only what 2 other mono red players here. Like, you know, it's not too many. It's only like a fourth of the meta.
People who may or may not playing some amount of red creatures or removal
To be
spells.
fair, I never was not playing red creatures, so
Yeah.
It's
Well,
kind
you
of
can attack
it's
this
kind of
Gideon
fucked
out
up
here.
that White gets access to like Corfire Walker, and Red's like, I have these idiot.
Like what warriors you should be playing in your black red warriors list. But I'll admit, Sickle Dancer is not on my list of cards I'd be playing. And I feel like Fracture Fruit is kind of bad for weird reasons. Like the effect is fine, but the fact that you have to play a 4-mana creature that then only triggers when you play your other creatures, and it's not like impactful immediately, card just doesn't seem sufficiently good.
So brute force is actually going to kill both of these creatures here. I don't think Bailite particularly cares because if he has a 2/2,
he just has a factory. This is a 2/2 factory. Once your 2/2s are mass produced, you can just throw a couple of them under the bus. It's fine. Some sort of 2/2 consumerism.
Like these 2/2s were this brute force traded for 2/2s that are like a fifth of a card.
Yeah,
right
they're
now,
like
sure.
steal
and
you traded for 2/2s and you steal the 1 and end up 2-for-1 in yourself somehow.
Yeah, it's like I'm pretty sure that. See this nice hard cash streak wall.
Not even being able to kill anything. The Pharaohs of Shriekmos.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, Shriekmo doesn't have to kill itself.
True.
Right, like if you play like a skin render or a flame tongue cabo on an empty battlefield, it just murders itself. It's hilarious.
So does new card from Zendikar Rising,
Yeah.
Thundering Spark Mage.
Oh.
May or may not have had to do that in limited.
Oh. I thought we were over that period where they
yeah,
didn't
it's
put a main
weird.
on
It's
it.
like, oh,
Yeah.
wait, what?
It didn't matter. I just targeted the Thundering Spark Mage and still killed my opponent with lethal that turn, but still had to do it.
I mean, it's possible that there is if I had to guess, it's just a space problem. That they couldn't fit its flavor text as well as the reminder text for party. If you also had it say heavy deal, you may have it deals X damage or deals X damage to target creature planeswalker and opponent controls.
I mean, you just have to fit the word "may" in there.
No, it's a you
may have it deal X damage to target creature or planeswalker.
You substitute it deals with you may have it deal. So it's not just it's a you may.
You can't say it may deal.
No, that's not how.
Okay.
It's not how templating works.
Hmm.
Oh, I see. Blahguy is busting out the notepad. There are entire planeswalkers that make warrior tokens.
That's what
There is. He is lying. He is lying. Look at Nahiri. Nahiri. Oh, okay. He specifies in Rakdos. Sure. That's just don't play Rakdos. Play Boris.
Lies. All lies. Well, to be fair, I wouldn't recommend playing Rakdos Warriors. I feel like when you play a tribal deck these days, unless it's such a big tribe as goblins or elves, I wouldn't ever recommend playing less than 2 colors, 2 or less colors. It has to be one of those few tribes like that, maybe Merfolk, which is blue and green basically. I think I'm not really sure what colors exactly I would run in.
We see Bailite has gotten to the point where he's decided he's able to attack. This usually I would have expected to happen in 4 more turns, but he decided a little early today.
He got there.
Yeah, this game is
I understand we haven't really been commentating on this game, but this game was pretty much over when we joined it, so.
Yeah, as soon as the Gideon came down and the Blahguy just had too few cards in hand, really. That took him from things ain't looking good to why are we still here just to suffer? Yeah. And here we have the case of, I have this card that's really great to equip. I could play and then equip it next turn.
So what's the chances me and Simpleman get paired up against each other next round?
At least -1%.
Considering how I think Bailite's the only other 2/2.
So 66%, I guess.
So
not necessarily. Depends on who gets the buy, actually.
Yeah, with based on not, but team can't get the buy, right? Because he got it in round 1.
I didn't get it in
Luke
round 1.
Get the buy.
I didn't get the buy in round 1.
No,
Round
wait.
one get the buy.
Oh no, WolfgangCloud got
Muffin
the buy
could
in
get
round one. You're right.
I have
Between
won
Muffin-
2 hard matchups
So
today.
the buy will go to either Luca or AStuffyMuffin. Those are
Can I take a moment to commentate that it's not a, I don't know if that's a terribly hard matchup, Zannty. I don't mean to get too into
I wasn't trying to be mean.
I don't think I do that great against RDW. I apologize. I'll mute myself now.
No, you're fine. If you want to jump,
You're good.
you can
We're
jump
kind
in.
of this matchup we're putting on screen is super over. So like we're kind of just monkeying around at this point.
Yeah.
If nothing else, Bailite might revert to his old self, stop attacking and just make Blahguy lose to time.
Just
Losing
keep them
to
in
time
one.
to Bailite is the ultimate of fraud. Like at that point, I think you just have to like retire to.
At this point, you just
to a
lose
distant
10 points. Like this is
hermitage.
put in the rules. Like when you lose on time, when your opponent's Bailite, you just lose 10 points from 10 points.
No, you just lose.
don't
Period.
like them.
Everything. Blahguy is now watching. I think this is Overwatch.
I think it's actually what's the game? Actually, no. Yeah, I believe I actually saw this game recently. It's called Risk of Rain, I believe.
Oh, it's Risk of Rain. Right. I am sorry. I also have never played the game of Overwatch in my life. So
I have never played it. I literally saw a video for the first time of the game like 1 or 2 days ago. And I still don't know quite how the game works, except you run around with abilities and kill things. Which is incredibly generic, by the way.
Yes. This is a game where you have abilities and you also run around and kill things. It's like
As opposed to like all the other games, which are about components.
which are about none of those things, yeah. Blahguy. So we have Bailite triumph over
Like
Blahguy
Minecraft, when you go
1.
around and you kill things with things. Oh, wait.
That was 2-1, right?
Mm-hmm. Eating some ice cream.
Oh man,
It is good.
I want ice cream.
Yeah. Stanley Herrick's fake news.
Okay,
Fake news
Luca obtained his first win of the event because he got a bye.
So could we get the postings before you give us the spoilers?
No, I'm working on it.
Do not believe you have put it in the tournament discussion kindly, so thank
There
you.
you go.
Oh, I might just not get to have a good reason to just slam on Luca's list. I mean,
We'll watch Luca last round.
so we have a choice between Zannty and Simple Man.
Yeah, I mean, we have to watch Zannty and Simple Man. This one is for actually like kind of a bunch, like not all the marbles, but like a significant amount of the marbles.
Like the only thing that's for the older marbles is going to be Lucas's next game, actually.
Yeah, that one really is for like many marbles.
Like some percentage of marbles.
Yeah. Like, but
I-
like
I
a high
qualified
percentage of
for-
marbles.
I've qualified for the bottom spot before, and it has not gone well so far. So I mean, like, it's not that many marbles on the line.
I mean, we're budgeting the marbles over here, so yeah. Like I said, if you want to support our buying of marbles.
Oh,
Go
actually,
ahead.
speaking of support, like actually for real, as we go into the next round, right? This is the end of round 2, so we have to do our mid-tournament round of reminders, which while we get set up. So let's work on that.
Are we good to start, or should we wait, Marco?
Oh yeah, no, you're good to. Oh right, I could not see your game. If both of you are sharing the screen, I should be good to go.
I'll hop into the tournament force too, and then share my screen.
Go for it. And Simple Man is the one up top.
Marco, I think you didn't mean to switch yet.
No, I think he did.
I didn't mean to switch.
Yeah, it just didn't look ready.
I mean, that usually doesn't, to be fair. So on the bottom we have Zannty, we currently have on both cameras. We're getting that fixed and set up in the meantime.
Yes, I see.
Yeah, you're switching the cameras around right now. The top camera should be the bottom camera for reference.
Yes, Symbolman is up top. Yeah, that was actually a misclick. It wasn't like usual when I say that when I think about it and then decide to click the wrong button. And then decide to click the wrong player, knowing that it's the wrong player. This time I actually just planned
We get
one.
Blahguy's hand here. Oh, I just want to comment something on Symbol's hands in a moment. I'm just going to talk out about Blahguy's hand here first.
There is no.
So a
Blahguy.
1-lander with 2 1s and a 1 mana burn spell, 2 2-drops and a 3-drop. On the draw, I could see keeping his hand, but if you're on the play, I think you have to mulligan this one for sure. I probably will also mulligan on the draw.
Yeah, this seems weak.
Yeah, like it's risky. Like it's fine. It's not incredible. It's actually really good if you find your second red souls. But
Symbolman's hand, on the other hand.
Sorry, the story of last week was Goblin Settler. That was the story of last week.
Yeah, this is
Copying people's lands, getting copied, getting blinked. Some games destroying opposite 3 lands. Like it was destroyed in like over half of these stream games we had Symbolman on. And we had Symbolman on for quite a lot of games. Like 6 some such. Like there was a lot of settling and unsettling things respectively.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I inspired Symbolman to include that card, but I might have inspired Symbolman to include that card.
While we get this round on the line, and then we can focus on the match a little bit. Just a quick round of reminders.
I didn't realize that. Yeah, then I actually like keeping it. Just throwing some of these lower cards on the bottom. I do actually think I would have kept a different 2-drop. I would have actually kept the Harsh Mentor. Because in particular, like, the pod deck, if you know what Symbolman's on, you should know that that's the kind of deck that can really get punished by Harsh Mentor. Fetches,
yes.
Artifacts and enchantments and creatures that have activated abilities are not uncommon in that deck. I really feel like that's more important than a possible prowess trigger here and there, and maybe sacking a creature to kill something.
All right.
On the other hand, Hardfire, it's a removal spell, a backup removal spell, because one of the best ways to counter that.
The reason I believe that I am playing it, I don't remember if Wolfgang's playing it. We'll actually have to ask him that. I can literally check. But I believe my line of thought is that it's a prowess creature primarily that just happens to be able to deal damage, not vice versa.
Yeah.
A creature can protect damage that just happens to have prowess.
This doesn't go face, right? But
like the prowess is more important than the sack to deal damage.
I mean, I think that both are like an important component of how the card operates.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like I'm not playing one without the other.
Yeah.
Like if it just had one of those twos,
yeah.
Like 2/2 prowess is like.
What you're saying is basically something along the lines of you think a 2/2 prowess is a card that is more playable than Ember Horror, basically. And while you kind of need both to make.
Currently, we have a 2/1 with prowess for 1 and a red, which is definitely not seeing play. I was discussing making a mono red prowess build. Might go with that at some point.
Anyway, if I can sneak in these announcements and then I let you focus on the game, just really quickly. You're not on the Discord, I will murder you. Exclamation point Discord. You get on the Discord and it's awesome and there's a bunch of people and they help you and you also can find my announcement. Exclamation point, next event doesn't do anything because this is the last event of the season, so the finals are gonna be upcoming. You want to be on the Discord and that is going to give you all of the information that you need. You'll find announcements there in the tournament announcements channel. Finally, if you are interested in if you're interested in what we're doing, we would really appreciate it if you could take the time to subscribe to our channel. We had a bunch of subs added. It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, it just helps with running the whole shebang. It's kind of great.
So
With that said, game now.
So this is definitely arguable if it's a mistake, but I would claim it is if they do end up casting a burst. I think they wisely choose not to. You could draw a free jump and be punished for it, but I think the 1 damage on the browse trigger just is that bit better because I wouldn't expect my opponent to jump with the noble hierarch here.
Right.
And honestly, having the 5 currently onboard damage into possibly 9 damage, putting my opponent on the 4 is definitely tempting here. But I think just having the burn spell here is more important. Especially against a deck like Pod, where like dealing with some problematic creatures can be really big. Yes, I already have a creature I can sack, but I just want to keep my threat around preferably, if possible. And besides, it gives my opponent less information about that, oh, they really have to find some sort of life gain.
Bimbleman is kinda stuck in a bad position where we might see him just play the Fauna Shaman as a blocker, which is really not.
I would actually kind of like seeing the survival of the fittest. I'm trying to think if there's a good 2-drop you can get with survival of the fittest here. Top of my head.
Think
You
so?
have 5 mana for the land. Let me just get the list here for a second.
I mean, if you want a 3-drop that you can survival into, you can just get Finks.
2-drop.
Oh,
yeah, but you don't have
Charming Prince.
mana. You need 2 mana to play it, 1 mana to activate it, that's 3 mana, and then you have 5 in total.
Can you get Charming
so
Prince?
5 mana.
Recoup some life and get a blocker?
Yeah, but you can't really get an oof. Like, I think the best is probably looking at it something
Charming
like
Prince.
Oh, Charming Prince is definitely not a bad option.
It's like, how did you understand oof from Charming Prince? Those are not similar words.
They aren't playing Charming Prince, so that's kind of making it awkward. What I'm looking at here, looking at all of the list, I'm thinking Carroted or Voice of Resurgence personally. Carroted because that's just a great mana ramp spell, which means that a creature next turn is quite good.
Yeah, and it kind of blocks a Cocklet forever.
They tapped wrong for Voice of Resurgence, so.
The other option is just to play the creature and just not get a 2-drop.
Was there a way to cast Voice of Resurgence?
I think I kind of like it.
Oh, no. They couldn't have cast Voice of Resurgence with this mana. You need green to cast it. There was no configuration that they would have tapped to use to cast.
I wasn't
sure. Yeah.
No.
Oh no, because they have the Noble Hierarch. Right. They would have done it.
No, you could play the Firelit figure as well. That would have helped.
No. So you can tap Volcanic Island and the Hover Forest to cast the Survival of the Fittest.
Exactly.
And then tap the
Yeah.
Temple Guardian to activate it, and then...
Kill them here. Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can get here from Zimmerman's perspective. I don't think there's anything with Flash that isn't already dead, at least. There is a creature with Flash you could get that list at least, being Iceman Coil. But we did see
that is in the graveyard.
Yes.
Exactly. So that means there's nothing of note I can think of that can get here. This is some creature that has like Evoke and Flash for low cost. Doesn't seem like it.
They might be
there's some, but they're not.
Ranger?
I don't believe they are. Can't seem to find it. They seem to be playing Corridor Monta instead. They're playing Silver Ranger though, which I'm not that big on. It doesn't really feel like great a choice.
Oh, the Simpleman thinks he's gonna survive this turn.
I just really like the idea of just discarding your Fauna Shaman last turn, because you already had a threat that could do something. Why would you get Kiki here?
Gosmith, are you ready for stats? There are 22 total creatures with Evoke. Out of these, 4 of them have Flash. They are Briarhorn, which is a giant growth.
Yep.
Dawn Fluke, which can prevent 3 damage.
Oh, that one.
For white mana. Then there is Offal Snout, which is like it's like a cremate variant. It exits a
Oh
card.
yes, yes.
And finally, last but very much not least, there is the one that actually saw some standard play when it came into play, which is Cloud Thrasher, which you can evoke for 2 green, and it Pyroclasm. It basically casts Hurricane for 2 when it shows up.
Yeah. So I in short, I don't really like the Lion Symbol took there. I would have loved to see something like Voice of Resurgence, getting tutored there, or at least playing a Fauna Shaman and then going that round instead.
Fun fact.
Finding something else.
Fun fact.
I would just have really loved to see something else there. I could even have seen playing the creature he had in hand. I want to blinks it. Blink your Mana Dog, have a 2/2, and a Mana Dog left jump block next turn if you want to. Set up some sort of Spellseeker line, perhaps.
Fun fact about Cloud Thrasher: this card cost 2 green, and people used to play it in the same standard deck as Cryptic Command because Vivid Lands are reasonable magic cards.
Vivid Lands and Reflection.
What do you think about this keep from Symbol? It's
trying to see right
not
now,
a thing that does a lot.
What is the leftmost card?
It's a Lotus Cobra.
I don't love it. I don't hate it. I'm on a side of like, was this a mulligan? It wasn't. I would have definitely mulligan then.
1, 2,
Yeah, like 4 lands and a mana.
Yeah, that was the first
the only
key.
cards I like here. Deathrise Shaman is fine, but you need some ways to get some creatures in the graveyard so you can start eating. And then I like the Crisis. I imagine the play here is going to be play an untapped land, pass the turn. Like, there's no real reason to play a Cobra right now. Just playing a surprise creature here, I like much better. But I think I'm going to see the Cobra here actually come down instead.
He is making motions to play the untapped land. I think he's following you.
I mean, either way, depending on what you play, I think no matter what, you're playing the untapped land here. One of them. We're going to see the Bounding Crisis being kept up. Curious to see how Zannty chooses to curve here. I don't hate the Sugar Camera here. I would be a bit sus about the fact that my opponent just passed with 3 mana up. However, there's not that many flash threats that really do something here. Deceiver Exile is pretty annoying. Crisis, like we know. Pest of Mind isn't that bad. This is an interesting choice, choosing to attack first.
Yes, he was about to play the Kenra, but was sus of the open mana.
I think
he wants to keep the Kenra for a turn.
I think it's better than just playing the Earthshaker Kenra, personally.
Excuse me, but you're saying something?
In general, I like keeping the hastes, and especially cards like for Earthshaker Kenra for later on, if possible.
Oh.
This just kind of like helps with that situation. I think we just play. Suddenly this hand on the side. Suddenly Zannty's game plan is Grim Lavamancer and Skull Clam, I imagine.
You kept talking about Earthshaker Kendra, and for whatever reason, my brain processed Kendra as camera, and I was like, "Is there something wrong with the hand cam? What's going on?"
Yeah. Let's count here. Can you play? You can't play both currently because you don't have a fetch.
No, he used his fetch land. Yes.
Yeah. Which, by the way, when you have a Lotus Cobra, why do you go turn 1 fetch?
Yeah, I would have turn 1 shark.
Oh, but I'm so afraid of taking damage. Yeah, you're gonna take that damage later on. God damn it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Now, admittedly, there wasn't a lot to cast with it, but like if you're keeping it in hand, you're really hoping to draw something to cast.
If I'm simple money, yeah, I'm gonna keep that farther off. Yes.
Chomp chomp. Yep, the chomp chomp continues. Please kindly do not attack here, simple man. Take your time. Take your time.
He's pondering it.
Just.
Oh no!
You
Don't
should be thinking about the attack step here, my friend. You're just enabling them.
So now I imagine we are going to see Earthshaker Kenra along with Omad Courier to get at least one.
I'm probably just attacking a scene saying, do you want to trade? Maybe I think I'm playing a Bowmaker here and attacking.
Yeah,
then
you want the
the,
moment career down so it can start getting
play
cards on there.
here, because I kind of want my opponent to trade with a Lotus Cobra. As weird as it may
Yeah,
be.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I think this is fine on a play, but like, you're kind of your next turn's gonna be kind of awkward when your opponent has a 3/3 and it's suddenly not gonna attack because they're suddenly like, oh shit, it's bad at attacking.
Yeah.
Like, I think you have to decide this game. Do you want to try and win by the manner of winning by just kill them with combat damage, or do you want to try and suddenly grind this game out with burn spells to the face, burn spells to the face, burn face to the face? If you go for the latter, you get Grim Darkmaster and you get Skullclamp online. And you play.
We might see a a normal.
No, we're gonna see them trying to raise. Bold strategy, Colin. We'll see if that works.
Yeah, but like I think what they're gonna do now is use the
bounce
flowing mana to play the 5-drop. No,
did you just give them more burns? But
what?
I
think that was a misclick.
I think so. That is.
I am quite sure they were trying to play the Reveler.
What just happened? Symbol Man? Oh, are we getting the notepad?
Why?
We're getting the notepad.
Yeah.
Oh, the feels bad notepad. Oh, that actually rhymes quite nicely. Yeah, JPS, this sucks. For Symbol Man, this is definitely a rip moment.
It's not great.
Yeah, no, or they could. Did they have the mana to activate the ravine before attacking? Because if they did, honestly, they should have done that. That's better than playing. That would have been better than playing. They would have had 3/4. Yeah, they could actually have activated the ravine before attacking. I think they should have done that. Now they actually
don't know how much I love that, but
yeah,
it makes certain sense.
Here's worth noting: you know your opponent has 6 + 4 damage on board. You're at 10. You're probably also going to take 1 damage from Barbarian Ring. You kind of need to keep some creatures behind. At least
but
one.
This 3/2 is an amazing blocker. So we're gonna see a swing out, and then.
Yeah, this is actually going to end up being game here. Silverman is actually going to get nicely not punished here, because both of them decide to play aggressively, and it just so happens that Simple Man just had a better clock. Quite frankly, unless it's something I can't think of here, because he can't play 2 threats to block the. Actually, no, I'm wrong here. For some reason, I figured they could activate both Raging Ravine and cast the Teferi. They might have the mana for that. Let me just count. 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 1 mana off, actually. They're 1 mana off lethal.
No,
actually,
no. If Deathrite Shaman would
this is exact lethal. This is exact lethal because if they realize this line of play, they want to be able to cast both of them and then cast the Teferi and then activate the Raging Ravine, because then they have lethal.
Let me count. That's all of them. That's enough for. Yeah, this should be.
Even after
you need to tap the Deathrite Shaman. That's 5 + 4. Yes.
Yeah. It is Xaxes. Again, this 1 damage. Like, admittedly, if I'm Civil Man has a fair bit of ways of dealing with 1 creature, and with like Lotus Cobra in play, like I think there's a pretty decent chance that I see removal creature spell if I know if I'm Zannty and I know like somewhat like what my opponent's on, like Fire Imp, playing Tonkavu. Both of those aren't like outside the realm of possibility, and then having the
Symbol Man. No.
Oh, Symbol Man. No. At least don't attack here now. All of a sudden. God, if you attack here.
He's thinking about it.
Here. First, Zannty unknowingly, admittedly, kind of throws the game. So technically not throwing, I'd say. But then Simple Man just kind of misses lethal here. I'll admit, not the most obvious line. I think you kind of have to like, oh, I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to think here. Is there a way to turn this into a guaranteed lethal?
I don't think so.
You can risk this being lethal. Just swing in with everything and hope they block the Curry and 2 other creatures, or at least only block like.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I think that's actually no. It is guaranteed lethal, isn't it? No, it's not.
No,
Let's
but
see.
they're gonna block the courier. This is lethal.
But what you can do is you can then next turn because then you can't fire blast. But you could do that. So what you can do afterwards is you can cast your what's it called, your orc, and then afterwards you can fire blast your opponent if they're not dead, and then they can't kill your orc at least. Then they have to kill you before that.
Yeah, this is the.
Yeah, if they block like this is going to be game over. They don't know it, but that is giving your opponent exactly lethal. Notably, this is also lethal against 2 shocks, so that's definitely actually also an important thing to consider from a Simple Man's point of view. Like, you're definitely not like there's definitely a good chance that Zannty can kill you here if you block like this. And like if you're fine with letting your cover die, your opponent has so many cards in hand, you shouldn't be afraid of them drawing 1 card, honestly. Or drawing a couple of cards of that. You can deal with that at a later point. You probably can't deal with missing lethal though. Like that is like yes they misclicked, but like they still had lethal the following turn, so like that's not an excuse for just missing it. That's just more of human nature. Just, you miss these kind of things. You don't always see the line. Sometimes it's more obvious than others. Sometimes you just count 1 too little or 1 too much. Sometimes you just realize you forget that you couldn't activate something or didn't see a card was there because it was hidden in the graveyard somewhere, like a lava dart that you forgot you had or whatever. Yeah, I was going to say, please at least cast a spell before you cast your Fire Blast, please. Don't get blown out by like some random ass card out of nowhere. Like, don't get forced of will and just
playing a list on other weeks very much like Simpleman's, and I'm playing all 3 counter spells. So yeah.
Yeah, well, you're also making a mistake, in my opinion. So because quite frankly, I don't think you have a high enough density to play those kind of cards in those decks. That's just my opinion. I'll admit I don't know the numbers. It might be actually a really interesting question of like how many blue spells to play Force of Will, Force of Negation, etc.
Yeah, okay. But that is a discussion for another time. Do we have any more matches, or was that
Currently, we have. I think this is actually the first game.
I think it was the last one, yeah.
What last?
So I felt
I don't think there's anybody else still playing.
I felt bad when Simpleman misclicked on the Raging Ravine, but he also missed lethal on the final turn, on his turn. So
this is yeah.
I had an interesting decision though with when I was on the last turn, I was trying to figure out when the best time was to fire blast, forgetting the fact that I couldn't do it at instant speed because of Teferi. But if there wasn't a Teferi out, I thought about at first doing it on his upkeep. So Force of Negation didn't work, but then I realized you could just gang with that, right? So that didn't work. And so I think it was correct though to if he didn't have the Teferi to cast it and float the mana and then sacrifice my Beaumont Courier at instant speed in case he does have something.
We do have matches still going. I just couldn't find them, but I did find them now. So I'll. I put one on.
But I don't like. Silverman is saying that they tapped out to cast the Revelar when they accidentally activated the Ravine, but I don't think they had the at that point, did they? I might be incorrect.
They definitely had lethal because I did the math and like it was.
I'm not talking about that. We did point that out as well. We did talk about it a lot. That's not what I'm talking about.
So what are you talking about, sorry?
I'm talking about when they activated the ravine accidentally,
Yeah.
and if not, they actually had the Reblock at that point because they were discussing that's what they were pretending, intending on casting. I just don't think they had it in hand at that point, but I might have been wrong.
Oh, they did have it at hand, and they had enough.
It made a lot more sense. And that was what they were going for originally.
Well, now the fate is in my own hands. If I win next round, I have done it.
Boy.
Well, what's this match going on? We have Blahguy versus Wolfgang. This is the Aggro decks mirror again.
Yeah. Wolfgang
there's
is up.
There's an art chair.
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
This art chairs. Oh, this is a way more guide these tents.
So
is it lethal actually?
Yep, it's one
he
of
just
the
has
lethal.
lethal.
Yep, you kill the creature, you hit them for 1 for what it's worth. And you swing in for actually it's 2 lethal because you target the what is it called? The Tormented Hero and drain them for 1 as well because it has heroic. You know, that thing that we always remember when the hero has. Because that's usually relevant. Yep. Yeah. I'm curious to see, do they go for it? There is definitely the choice to not go for it and just play the creature here. And just play around some sort of shock effect, possibly. Nope, doesn't seem to be the case.
Even if they have a shock, it leaves them on 1 life. So yeah.
Is this the second game?
They're 1-1 right now.
Yeah.
So now we go to.
We're going to game 3 now.
Final.
Let's see, starting hands here. Looking at not Sandy's Blahguy's hand here, it's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, that's a mother.
It looked like Wolfgang Mulligan there. I didn't quite think so, but whatever they have in hand now is not keepable.
I don't think they know. That's a bit.
See that they're actually playing one of these tap lands. Between some of us Aggro players, especially Red Liquid players, we've been kind of sketchy on them, despite what some people have discussed of playing cards like those. Some of us really don't. Some of us do. Definitely some cards that are worth discussing.
Which cards? Sorry.
The modal double face cards. Like
our stream just went down.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did it.
I'll see if I
It
can
turned itself off.
fix exactly. I can see if I can figure out exactly what happened. But do I have
a reference to card?
I mean, my internet is clearly still working, right? So.
Yeah, we hear you.
Spikefield has it, and Shadowskull especially those kind of cards, if they're worth playing in like mono red and such.
Okay,
And,
so here is what's happening. I'm going to disconnect the stream and reconnect the stream and see if it helps. And let's see if that happens. Okay, now we're actually fully back. We're even recording. We weren't
Wolfgang. Oh, this is a really good rubber.
Wolfgang has a very aggressive start here. He even gets the Exile card.
Yeah.
Holding Tarn doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Like, it's definitely not a great curve from Blahguy's side. Though Ash said it, great blogger. What in the world is that 1-drop? Like, come on. Come on, Blahguy. How deep have you gone on your theme here?
I don't even know what this one
about 7, I think.
Tenacious dead. Come on, Blahguy, please. Please.
He has a few good blockers. The 4/3 is a pretty good blocker, so is the Ash Zealot, to be perfectly honest.
So tenacious.
No, play the Ash Zealot first.
I'm talking about goddamn Tenacious dead.
I don't know what card
Tenacious
that is,
dead in the Peak of Destiny.
Oh. That's a really decent one. Took me a while. No, Tenacious Dead is a 1-mana black for 1/1. That when it dies, you can play 1 on black. If you do, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control.
Oh, it's just called value.
Fine fact about this creature: it exists. It's
like,
not.
why?
It's not really that much value. You only get it if it dies.
Okay, so Wolfgang just magically draws something that damages.
Look, it's a perfect card to discard to this Blood Rage Brawler.
This is garbage.
Perfect card. Like, it makes your life so much easier because you're like, this card's just so bad, I can discard it to this Blood Rage Brawler and not feel bad for myself.
Straight up just hardcast. Yep, you hardcast the Skewer's Critics.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Cast a Skewer, attack before exile another card. It's
Just kind of like.
one because the Blood Rage Brawler had to discard a card.
I actually have been thinking about it if Skewer is great. Like, it's really good against the.
If you keep hitting Blahguy to lands.
just cut them on lands. You can't play anything.
Well, at least hope that he hits his own lands off this Abbot. That's usually a pretty good hit.
Probably the Marauder here.
I'm thinking Ash Salad, which just blocks.
Actually, it blocks very well. It eats something right now, which is what I would probably be playing. Just play it and leave it back as a blocker.
I'm not sure why people play that in their decks, but they do.
Which card?
Kill the Marauders. Like, yes, it can be 2 mana 5 damage, but you know what? A 2/2 haster can be 2 mana 5 damage at the same time.
Searing blood off the top.
Yeah, this is why I
This is
want
so
the
angry.
Marauders. The Marauders is completely.
I want to Blahguy. You still got a chance. You still
Like,
got this.
right, at least Wolfgang didn't go, haha, I'll play the Abbot, hit a land, get good.
Oh,
Would
the
this
other
look
land.
Just kill all the lands.
This is hilarious. This game is
Robbing an awful lot. Terminate?
Wolf's not
yeah.
dead yet. This Dreadbore keeps you alive.
Actually, I don't think you cast a triple here, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I also don't think you played a Kill the Marauders straight. That's correct. No, honestly, I think so. Like, because this is not developing forward. Probably. Like, I mean, honestly. That wasn't even a joke. That was completely legit. Depending on
But
what
it's still
do,
funny.
people
It,
don't.
it
I
doesn't matter.
honestly think you just attack here.
I think you still attack with both creatures. Like,
Yeah.
you attack with both creatures, see what you hit. I actually liked attacking before playing this Abbot because in case you hit some 2-mana burn spell from Blahguy, like, now you can't cast it.
Like, I think at this point, like, if you do this time,
Mountain.
like,
No, you're just adding more insult.
did we hit an all land?
Yeah, it is a mountain.
Yeah, every single time he's exiled a land.
Land.
This is just.
have to
Okay,
kill it.
I was wrong. It was completely correct to do it like this because it's just adding more insult.
Now,
Robert.
I can't think of a single card that Blahguy can draw right now that saves him.
Collective Brutality would do it.
Can't cast
Keep him alive for another turn.
Collective Brutality would do it. I was thinking of something else. True.
But not this Blood-Soaked Champion. That does not do it.
You can play 2 creatures.
Actually, a land would do it as well because then you can block and activate Cradle Maker.
True.
Yes.
So,
But,
you know,
but alas,
the
all,
thing is,
all lands
there was
have
a robber
been
of the rich that was stealing the lands. So
Yep. Imagine drawing lands though.
I'm sorry if I cut you off, Luca. There.
It's the same notion. Yeah. All lands were exiled. No lands left.
We weren't aware of that. Blahguy, thanks for pointing it out.
What did Blahguy say?
Even goes for the from
it's-
health card.
Stealing like land contracts, like just stealing plots.
Yeah,
It's like stealing the rights to a castle.
no, yeah, not even the rights.
What's a
Just
mouse with a
planeswalk
parrot?
away with an entire continent or something like that.
Oh god.
Just
The man that
all
stole
land. We are not talking about a single area. Like
That's actually a
all
really great
land
title,
was mine.
something. The man that stole the world. Note to self.
It's the year
Is that the last
20XX
match?
and no one plays land. Actually, this
Is
reminds me.
Bailite
Have you
still
seen
playing?
that now people are trying, like, speaking of no one plays lands, people are trying to play oops all spells in Modern by playing like 20 of the stupid flip lands that are not lands.
Yep.
It's
It's
kind of
hilarious.
Doing a bit of a Star Trek cosplay there, see?
My understanding is that Modern Belcher is actually really good all of a sudden because of the modal lands.
Yeah, I mean,
It's okay.
I
but
think,
better deck is Oops All Spells.
yeah,
At this
oops all
point,
spells
it just
strike
doesn't
me
die
as
as
a
hard.
better deck. Yeah, strike is a better deck.
Oh.
It's a little faster and you just need the less mana. Like,
To be fair,
the problem with your
to be
combo
fair-
is that it takes a billion slots because basically the way that the oops all spells deck
Like,
kills is
The negative does speed up noticeably as such.
like the
but,
way that the oops all spells deck kills is basically you flip your whole deck over, right? And then you stuff your opponent face with 4 copies of Crippling Shield.
We
And
might
then-
actually be at a point where we can make this deck an alpha.
At which point you have to reanimate, you exile cards from your graveyard to put a Salvage Titan back in hand. Because you flipped some Narcomoebas, your Swords of the Meek came back from the graveyard, which gave you enough artifacts that you can exile them to cast Salvage Titan from your hand, which is then your second creature, so that your 4 Vengevines came back. That is a lot of cards, it turns out. So, like, your deck is actually
Also,
your deck engine is
also
very
you
good, is the problem.
yeah, you also have which is the did you mention the Ravnica spell?
Phantasmagorian.
Creeping Chill?
Yeah, I did say
You know-
Creeping Chill. Yeah, I mentioned Creeping
Alright.
Chill, yeah. But,
I
like,
thought you said Crypt Incursion, but
yeah, no.
I could be wrong.
That's also an Abri has spells, actually. An Abri has
But
spells,
yeah,
actually. But yeah, no, that is, that, yeah. But you get some points of damage from Creeping Chill and some points of damage from Convention. And the problem is that, like, we named, like 25 cards or something like that, right? This is all the engine of your deck. Like, so, like, whereas Belcher is, like, you just get to play, like, mana, Belchers, and lands that are spells. Like, that's all you get to put in your deck, so that's the upside. But Upsal spells can win with 4 mana. Belchers need 7. That's the big...
Alright.
Belcher also just loses the card Force of Negation.
Yes,
Upsal
it
spell
loses
did
to
not
Force
necessarily.
Organization, and it loses harder to Artifact Hate. That's a whole number.
To be fair, as a Humans player, I like that both of these decks exist because Humans has a great matchup.
Oh
against
yeah,
both of
I
them.
mean, it sounds awesome, but
People are trying to make Belcher, aka the low land deck, and I think due to like this, there might actually be a possibility of a slightly viable deck suddenly.
The other thing is that I've seen a lot of the Oops All Spells decks playing Belcher in the sideboard.
Yeah, exactly.
yes, they do.
Yeah.
Because the
Because
Belcher is
Belcher-
like the advantage of playing Belcher is because it doesn't care about your graveyard. That's the other big advantage. That like so if you expect that your opponent is gonna bring in a bunch of Leyland of the Voids and spell bombs and Tormod scripts and Stormtide Leviathans and all that crap, you just put in your Belchers and then you get to 7 mana and you fire off your Belcher and then you win. With that said, I believe that was it for these.
Yeah.
Oh no, we have Evios. I actually have Evios and Bailite still going on. I had tried to join them and then failed miserably. I don't know exactly how that worked out, but let me.
Hashtag blame rape mage.
I mean,
What is
probably it's a pretty accurate hashtag.
That's what I'm saying.
Bailite is about to lose to time, having only 2 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock.
I believe in
Nice.
Bailite.
This sword's gonna do work on that Grimflayer.
They like start a game in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that Grimflayer sure has trample.
With that
Oh
deck.
yeah,
This
This
is gonna.
Grim player is dealing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bailite needs the 2 minutes.
Yeah, Bailite might be okay.
Couple minutes, and then we're
Now there's a chance that if Evios can kill his Leyline Tyrant next turn,
Can I just point out how sick a play it would be if the top deck Keswick Wolf run right now?
Oh yeah, with all the flood mana.
To be fair, I think that you just, if you're Evios, you just need to top deck a removal spell for your own leyline tyrant, right?
Like, you just flame slash your idiot and Bailite takes 85.
Yeah, like this is just how you're winning this game, and it's kind of hilarious.
I'm trying to see what kind of like answers they have currently. They can top deck a Flame Tongue Kavu.
Flame Tongue Kafu to kill your own leyline tyrant. Oh god, that's special.
That's good.
You can
Glory
also just
kills. Great. Gearhulk kills. Like, there's a lot of
any
like
fights also do it because it
Any
just
fight.
fights Rakdos.
Yeah. Granted, I have to imagine that the
Like,
only
it's not a
fight
hype.
that this deck
It's
probably
not-
plays
it's not-
Kalni Ambush, right? Like, I'm imagining that everything else. Oh, I love that Embra cooled the Eon Storm. So nice of you to show
I
up.
think it's somewhere like depending on like how many cards do they have in hand currently? They have
One.
one.
Evios has one in hand, so it's he's not dead, but he does have some
They have
outs.
in hand already. Are we just gonna see mana flow?
You're gonna just float all of your red mana that you can. I would tap this mana confluence and float that as well. He did not.
He
I
didn't.
like that it differentiates between snow due to the way it's worded. It's not like it transforms the mana; it just keeps it.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do. He doesn't actually need the extra mana from the mana confluence because a hit here plus killing
to
the
be-
tyrant is.
You want as much mana as possible, right? Like it's just free mana to have on your next turn. Like if you draw something like Harmonize here, right?
Like, frankly, I
Then-
think you win here or you lose.
Yes, I agree, but you want it. You should. The one life doesn't matter from the mana conflict.
Question
It's
is-
just irrelevant.
Survive here. The funny thing is, could you possibly survive here just by like gaining enough life that your opponent can attack?
How your opponent has a Grim Flare that's 6 damage, 8 damage by
Yeah,
itself.
that is,
right
that
now.
is the Grim Flare is attacking you for 8 and cannot be blocked. So that's you're gonna
Draw
have to figure out something for that boy.
I'm saying if you draw like a Fractus or some such.
Oh,
But, like,
Evios is
X
complicated.
fucking excuse me, this is game 2?
Who won game 1?
Evios.
Evios need.
We're
Come on,
going to
Evios.
game 3.
Top deck that removal spell. You can do it.
Blahguy, what? Sorry, Bailite, what happened? Why
This
do you
explains
have...
why Bailite actually had a low clock because he couldn't restart.
They know that, right? Like they're fully aware of that.
Oh god.
Evios just said that the 2 life gain of Maya Triton cost him the game. He had 10 points of damage. I don't know how.
He probably had another hasty dragon or Price of Progress.
Maybe.
No,
Price
Price of
is-
Progress kill you. Oh, Fiery Confluence.
Yeah, Fiery Confluence deals 6 and the Dragon Attack deals 4.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's close. That's fucking close.
Yeah. Looks like someone's gonna get
Well,
hemmed.
they have Fiery Confluence. Why don't you just like sweep the board for 1, kill off the artifact?
You're
and see-
still dead to the Grim Flare.
Yeah.
Well, even if you kill the artifact, because
I guess you could kill the artifact, deal 2 to everything. I think you still might be dead on board.
I don't
Yeah,
think
you're
Um,
dead on board.
block with the dragon and kill something probably.
Yes,
you can
but they
block
still.
with the dragon, and then you can deal them an amount of damage. But
Yeah,
they have.
Damage to
They still
everything.
have what? They have Drag Tusk. They have.
Grim Flare and the Courser Crucifix.
And then they had the 2-1, but you probably killed the 2-1 too.
Yeah, you deal 1 to
Yeah,
everything,
they will
right?
deal them.
You get to block the Grim Flare now, but then you still, or you get to block the
You have to block the
Drag
Frag Tusk.
Tusk, but then you still take 6 on the crackback, so you're still dead.
Going to this new game.
We just
Can anybody explain why they didn't?
why they did what?
What this start?
It seems like a good start from Evios.
Turn 1 Sylvan Library.
Deeply confused what you're talking about, Lucas here.
Is that not a wasteland or what? What is that land?
Oh, that is
It's Bounder's Enclave.
Bounty.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought that was a wasteland. I'm like, why
That's a
is it a
wasteland.
wasteland?
Well, it's actually a wasteland, but it's in Bailite Sand currently.
Yeah, I'm interested that like I can understand the mana development, but I'm interested that they didn't him there. I guess against Sylvan Library, it doesn't seem very.
It doesn't seem great against Sylvan Library. Your opponent still has 6 cards in hand, so it's not amazing right now, right?
Well, they had 3 on their turn.
They had 3 on their turn, then it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think potentially they're wanting to go him and like hold up Abrupt Decay this next turn.
Yeah.
Abrupt Decay the Sylvan Library him you. It's pretty good. Bailite is taking a fair bit of damage in the meantime, though.
Yeah. If they can land that Battle Skull, though, that's gonna make up for it.
Yeah.
Very quickly.
Sylvan Library being able to set up what you exile under Bomat Courier is very nice.
That's actually pretty good.
The value.
I just remember I was playing a game the other day, and someone had like a Howling Mine out, and I had a Sylvan Library, and I was like, this is just absurd.
So I presume we're going to see the... Actually, interesting, we don't see the Abrupt Decay there first. Could have saved 2 life there. I think that's actually what... And then again, we have a Battle Skull. Who cares about saving 2 life?
How does it save you 2 life to Abrupt Decay first? Oh, I guess
Well,
the
you kill off the
Okay,
Harshman.
But I don't think you're Abrupt Decaying this Harshment, or you're Abrupt
No, I don't
Decaying Sylvan Library.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I just realized, wait, Battle Skull makes damage, probably not the biggest problem here.
So that's a Crater Maker, and is that a Chandra that got exiled? I can't quite read it.
Yeah, the Chandra, yeah. The
4-mana shot.
resolution's not amazing right now, it looks like.
It's
Torch of
the-
Defiance.
So, doing
Yes.
the math, my count is that currently, Bailite
Wait, I
is 1 card off enabling then a Tuku Monastery once they get their lands in the graveyard.
I just had a thought. Why am I trying to see the game on stream when I could just open it in Modo?
I don't know.
Because
You want Bailite's hand, I guess?
Oh yeah, because the hand
Well, that's
comes.
definitely not what Bailite wants to see here. Well, at least that makes that turn quite simple.
Yeah.
You do get an interesting attack here, actually. You can attack with the Beaumont and the Bone Crusher, and either they trade with your Bone Crusher, and you get another card with this Beaumont, or you can sack this Beaumont. And then they don't gain any life.
Attacking with the Harsh Mentor as well.
I will point out the fact that you have 3 cards in hand, but I think if you're in the easier situation here, and you probably look like you kind of need a land too.
I don't like the attack I don't like attacking Harsh Mental because I feel like it's just the correct block here because you gain the life no matter what. You keep your thing around, and now all of his things just stop dealing him damage. Like
I agree.
Lands, like this Duntugu's Monastery, Battle Skull itself is all dealing damage to Bailite. Which is why I don't like this unless there's something.
I think mine is the correct block here. Never mind.
Oh. Well, I like this attack with this Harsh Mentor, I have to say. Knowing more information.
Yeah,
I can like this attack.
I believe
Charming Prince is okay.
Playing.
That's going to be a big threatening Charming Prince.
Is Charming Prince only a creature that it exiles?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a shame. If it was a Flicker Wisp, you could have bounced
well,
the
you
Battle
just
Skull.
equip Charming Prince, though.
You can't this turn, though.
Yes, isn't it 4 mana?
It's 5 to equip. It's the same as Battle.
It's 5.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
They're like, look, you get this card for free normally. If you want to not get it for free, you have to pay the same amount.
Yeah.
You definitely have to gain life here, Bailite. I don't think that you have another option here.
There's an argument for Stray. It's not a very good
Friendly
argument.
reminder
but
that if you want me to
to
put the card on screen, I will not do so probably unless I hear the name of the card. Just putting it out there.
Nantuku's Monastery.
Please don't.
Zera Arian.
Abandon all
Same
hope.
method. Mod, can we get a mute here, please? Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. Jesus Christ. It makes a lot of sense here that we're gonna need all an attack here. Oh,
Oh.
a lot of sense.
I'm
not sure I quite agree with that because I wouldn't actually expect a jump block here.
I would have expected a trade with the with
yeah,
the
I
idiot.
would. Yeah, that's what I would have expected too. And then just
You see Bailite try to activate this damn
to be
Two-Priest
fair,
Monastery
to be
and
fair,
then
it wouldn't have
realize
been
he
lethal.
doesn't have threshold for
The
this
only
first
time it would
time.
be lethal is if it'd only be lethal if they block the courier. And if
More
they
importantly, activating the Nantuko Monastery there would have killed them due to harsh mentor.
They couldn't activate it either way though.
If they could activate it before combat, though, they could block.
Question,
Right?
does it require threshold to activate it, or does it just only do something if you have threshold?
No, it says
yeah, no, it's
threshold,
activate
and then
only if you have threshold. But like, even if they had been able to activate it, they'd have taken damage from Mentor.
Yeah, but then you could have blocked Mentor, right? And then you would have gone to 2 either way.
Yeah.
If you could activate it.
Bailite.
I think Bailite is finding an appropriate Simpsons gif to describe the game.
Seems about right. There was a lot of lands, I'll admit. And then some more lands.
Yeah.
Well,
And then some more lands.
The interesting thing that I find is that if the Harsh Mentor wasn't there, you could have had a really blowout turn by playing the Wasteland, wastelanding your own land to activate the monastery to block the
Yeah.
Bone Crusher.
True.
Yeah.
Alright,
we
that's
go
it
into
for
the
round
final
3, I
round.
believe.
It does seem so, yeah.
Yep. But my fate's in my own hands now.
You don't believe
And
you.
Lucas's fate is in his hands.
Well, Lucas's fate is potentially in someone else's hands.
How so?
Well, I mean...
No, Luca's fate is also in Luca's
Yeah,
hand. If Luca
Luca
wins,
needs to win
he's
the
in.
last round. That's what Luca needs to do. If Luca wins the next round, then he's in.
Luca
Luca has a winning in, and honestly, that means that we will be watching Luca for because there's been whisperings of his absurd deck, so like.
I may not be guilty.
And he's got his worth cut for him because he's playing WolfgangCloud, so.
Oh fuck!
This is when WolfgangCloud just throws the game because he.
Is there any chance I have the buy? Question mark.
You no.
I believe AStuffyMuffin has the buy.
No, I am playing Bailite. This is gonna be a
I'm
match.
playing Evios. This is a close matchup.
I do like how we have 2 matches of a 6-pointer and a 3-pointer playing against each other. Gotta love small tournaments. Yes, indeed, AStuffyMuffin, this is the last round. So if you feel like heading off, you should be more than welcome to.
Yeah.
And if you feel like just... That's,
If you
that's
want to
just
drop
fine.
by the booth,
No,
we'll definitely.
No reason to feel
help
bad.
You.
You don't even need to drop because, like, you have a buy.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for you, honestly. In that
the
manner.
tournament dropped
It's
you.
almost like you planned it.
But you can
Unfortunately,
also,
I have some.
if you want to
I have
drop
some
by...
IRL stuff I have to take care of.
Absolutely. Like, look,
Yeah,
AStuffyMuffin, you don't
take
have
your
to
time.
excuse anything. You have a buy. You're technically done.
Yeah.
You already won.
That's the beauty of buys. You get to go do whatever the F you want to do with your life.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Alright, no problem,
Have a good
man. Thanks for playing.
So while we're getting this feature match between Wolfgang and Lucas set up, I'm gonna slam whatever this thing is.
What is this?
Why?
Thing? Like, I actually don't know.
Why? Well, first of all, it's a John deck called John Them Out in his list. Fair enough. John is a fine color pair. Like,
I saw an Elvish Spirit
pairs
guide and I was already...
Yeah. So it seems to be like a low curve aggro deck, which makes sense. It plays
Skyclave
2,
Peacocks,
3,
what is
4,
happening?
5, 6. It plays 6 cards with CMC 4 or higher, but most of those are either have like an alternative casting cost, like Become Immense or like Gurmag Angler, or they can get recast from a graveyard, and I'll get to that later, like Vengevine. So very noticeably, pretty low curve deck, as you may see. It has a bit of a minor couple themes. It has a bit of a general graveyard theme, and a bit of a graveyard, and a bit of a like madness theme.
Is this
And I think
kind of
inherently those two
the is
aren't
this kind of the
necessarily
new
bad.
work, a new basically
Yeah.
recreation of the wall
Yeah.
of the old Luca's old 4-color madness deck? Is that the
No, I actually do not think it is.
Okay.
Because the 4-color madness deck was actually a madness deck. And that's why I don't like this deck.
I
No,
was
listen,
certain you were
let me
about to say the
I wanna
4-color madness deck was
I
actually
want to
good.
completely just go through what I like and I dislike, because I like and dislike things about this deck. Firstly, I'm just gonna skip the I like Aggro thing. Actually, I don't love Aggro in this meta, not necessarily in general, but like this type of 3-color Aggro, because you get punished by all the red decks playing
Price of
things
Progress.
punishing. That's not necessarily a reason to say you shouldn't play it. And secondly, if you play a 3-color deck, you want to be abusing the fact that you have some higher quality, high CMC cards. So stop playing too. You shouldn't be playing too many 1-drops. You should probably actually play a bit more mid-rangey than what this is. This is, in my opinion, a bit too aggressive. And you should also just be playing more high quality cards. Like he's playing like Mourn Widow, which is 1 black-green for 3/2 with haste and Delirium when it enters the battlefield. If there are 4 more cards types among cards in your graveyard,
If you have
give
Delirium,
yourself
no,
power
then-
2 of this card. Block this turn. Put it
Yeah.
on screen kindly. Because the card is just basically a 3/2 haste that has a slight upside at times in this deck. It really just I don't see if that being worth it. Like when there are better hastes you can play at this point, it feels
I
like.
do think that this guy has a face, and then it has another face in its belly, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Another notable card, another thing I mentioned, it was the Madness theme. And while there is a Madness theme, there are both very few cards with Madness. Like we're not talking like 2 cards because it isn't really a theme. We're talking like 5 to 10 cards. And there's also very few cards that discard. Again, 5 to 10 cards. I haven't counted it, I'll admit. But like, just going over it, and of course not all the cards have literal madness. Some cards like Vengevine you can just kinda like discard and then bring back. But you don't really want to be discarding Dread Wanderers. Like those you want to be hard casting. Those don't count. There are 2 types of cards. There are the cards that get noticeably better when in the graveyard, and the ones that just are nice and can recur or just do something nice out of the graveyard. And you don't want to be discarding the latter, because the latter, because they're just kind of like okay in the graveyard and can do something if you have nothing better to do. Like discarding a Blahguy and then playing a land is just getting a free Blahguy. But discarding a Dread Wanderer and just sitting there like, oh, well, I'm gonna put it in play in 4 turns when it's too late. It's not really the same kind of value, you know. Yeah, we see a really nice card here. A card I actually do like in this deck, a Green Wheel Liberator. A 2-mana 2/1 that gets 2+1/1 counters if you trigger Revolt. Quite a solid green beater. These are the kind of cards I want to be looking at, especially since you're playing 3-color and a lot of fetches and such. That card is really rather easy to enable. Now it is sadly 3 toughness, which means against mono red it's not too difficult to kill. So that allows Wolfgang to just cleanly curve out here. And Lucas just sitting with a bunch of lands in hand. Quite sad. Now, there's definitely a lot of like card choices, specifically like some choices for like 1-drops and 2-drops and 3-drops that I feel like they're just better options. And I know that Lucas isn't particularly budget because like some of these card choices are even on budget, and they're playing cards like the Outer Veil and Fetches. So don't give me that excuse. But then there are cards where I just go like, why is an Aggro deck playing Life from the Loam? What? Just why? If you're saying it's versus a dredge, well, honestly, there are better options to mill yourself if you want to be playing aggressively in that manner.
Well,
If you're saying it's
there aren't
because
that
I
many
want some
cards
sort
with
of land
dredge.
engine,
There aren't that many cards with dredge.
yeah, but I don't think this deck wants cards with dredge.
I mean, that's
Because this is not a dredge deck. This is not a self-mill deck. This deck does not get much out of graveyard synergies. It has some cards, like it has
Are
like
you,
its
is
block
that
cards
is
with
it
Grim
correct
Players
to
and stuff.
block the freaking Ragavan there?
I
that-
think no.
I guess that if you block the Ragavan,
Actually, no. I think so. Yeah, I think risking
yeah, you don't
taking.
you don't risk losing your guy to a bolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you do. Don't you?
No, not to a shot.
There's a fatal push in the graveyard. Yeah, I think you have to risk it. You're far enough behind.
Yeah.
That take and I think this.
I
is
mean,
one of these
the
games you
Stormblood
have-
Berserker is going to go away on its own eventually. But...
So you're at 1 here because if you block the actually you're dead here because there's an Earthfare Kenra in hand. So this is over.
Kenra cannot
and
make
it'll be a quick-
Tarmogoyf will be able to block through the Kenra.
This is definitely a case
but they just
less
have
of
data,
like showing what I dislike about this deck, and more just a lands were drawn and too many of them.
I'm a little sad that it looks
Like, I really feel like what you want to be like doing is just playing the best 3s and 4s, and perhaps maybe some solid 2s and 1s. Alongside, I actually play the best 2s as well, and then only play the very best. Like, where's Sergo? Sergo is such a good 2-drop, and yet instead you're playing what? Keswick Prowler, and I think there was another card I just really didn't like. Sarcomancy? Why are we playing Sarcomancy?
It's a 2-2.
Like, there's definitely some singular cards that I'm like really so on the card choice department. Which is, I'm sorry. Look at this, like, what is Life from the Dome doing in his hand? What is it doing here? What is its purpose? Wolfgang mulligan aggressively here, but honestly, I think it's fine. This is a really solid hand against Lucas' deck. Now, this Inquisition, I imagine, is going to take the Blood here. Or the Ferocity. I don't think that actually is that big a deal. When you have a Rotting Riches or... The good news about having the Life from the Dome is that it gives you a way to discard cards to Rotting Riches. So, wait. You don't have to. I'm sorry, but I can't resist Cannon's making the argument that they take the Ferocity. I think that's perfectly valid considering specifically your hand is like 3+ toughness creatures specifically. Though I think there's enough creatures with 2 or less toughness in the deck that I can see the argument for just taking the Searing Plot. And that, like, with things like Regisaur and such, blocking the Ferocity isn't the end of the world. But no, I think both are valid choices. Also, the problem with Ferocity is the fact that they currently just don't have 3 lands, as far as you know. So, like, that just also kind of makes it a subpar choice. Wolfgang just sitting with 2 lands and 2 drops. The end. What a beautiful story. Now, depending, like, this is another small thing, like, Sargomancy, not being a creature here. Pretty big, actually. That means if your Vengefine goes to the graveyard and you have 2 creatures, you suddenly just can't get it back if that's one of them. And it's also just a 2/2. Like, yeah, Sergo has its downsides, I'll admit. But I feel like Sarcomancy just has more downsides than that. And again, like, there's a bunch of other 2-drops and 1-drops that you could consider that's not being played. Like, I feel like the one weakness of playing a 3+ colored aggro deck is the fact that at some point you're gonna have to make like you don't get that much more card quality out of the additional color.
This Rotten Regisaur needs to grow a spine.
Yeah.
Or possibly
Also the fact
recover
you will have yourself, like,
some other zombie spine. Its own spine might have been.
I think you just got the combat trick here. You want the land to play the Vengefine, and you wanna probably keep the Sarcomancy around now for now, because that can at least like trade and then be awkward.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's not gonna pop you because you have the Rotting Riches for probably the rest of the game. I'm gonna be quite honest here.
Yeah, Red's
Funny thing
not
here
the
is that
best at
scale up-
killing 7/6.
Funny thing here, scale up could just actively be bad here because you can play on your rotting register and just nerf it if you feel like it. You know, make my 3 mana 6/7 a bit more fair for some period.
It's a 7/6. It's not a 6/7.
Oh yeah, sorry, 7/6 into a 6/4.
We had
No.
we had a Pupitar named
I
Rakdos.
don't like that choice of land. I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, you're going to take the damage anyway, but like, if you fetch next turn now, and you just want to crack your land next turn, suddenly you're just taking a 3 point of damage for reasons like against an Aggro deck. Like, why would you do that? Also, why are you racing?
I mean, to be fair,
I mean,
you
this
do
is
have
11
11
damage
power
admittedly.
on the board.
This is
This
11
race might
damage,
not be
to be
that
fair.
crazy. Like, and
But
like the problem is that like you're not
But
gonna
here's
block
the
his
thing.
Kargan
Here's the
Intimidator.
thing. Here's the thing. Yeah, no, never mind. There's still a rotting
Like you
register.
can't block with the
Have to.
Regisor because of the Kargan Intimidator. That's the problem. So like you're kind of forced to raise.
True. That's actually a pretty valid point. Though they can only stop one
I
of your creatures
occasionally
from
do make
blocking.
those. It's rare.
But no, I think what's interesting here is the fact that the Ashtail can actually block the Vengevine profitably due to the Serum Blood, possibly, if that one slipped up. Because then you can deal 2 damage and pop. Now I'm curious to see if they want to play the creature and Skull Clamp here, try and set that up, or if they just want to play Skull Clamp and pass here. They could even play Skull Clamp and equip here and pass. There's even the choice of just straight up passing, as weird as that one seems. If you straight up pass, you probably just block the zombie, big zombie, and then throw a Searing Blood away, call it a day. And just realize you take 4 from the Vengevine probably. I'm very surprised by this attack here. Definitely a lot of interesting options there. Chooses to discard the Mire. That does make a lot more sense if you go down that route. Yeah, so we're gonna see the Vengevine getting blocked here, and then a Searing Blood coming their way, I presume. Which I'm trying to figure out. Does that mean that we might have lethal on the backswing, depending on what they draw?
Can anybody truly
Double
have
blocker
lethal?
can kill plus. That's 6 damage. That's 9. That's possibly lethal. Probably not though. Probably not. Can give trample. Could that make a difference? 4/2 trample. Maybe stop a blocker, but only for stopping the fucking cock intimidator. Skullcam can get in for a point of damage, but that's gonna require more mana. And then you're not drawing a burn spell. So you have, if you don't find the lethal here, and I have to think about if you can kill it here. You have 4, 5 damage on the Intimidator, 2 in the setter. That's not lethal. Because it's all on board damage. Plus your Kargan Intimidator as EOD. Probably that if you go down that route. Yeah, so you kind of have to take the line of, I just want to jump and trade here. But then your opponent has Trample Creature. And that's going to kill you off if you don't. Okay, so it's literally only one line of playing here I see winning. That is playing your fetch, cracking your fetch, playing a Skull Clamp, equipping your Skull Clamp to your Ash Zealot, and then playing your Archer. Now, if you're intelligent, you actually play the Archer first because you get in 1 point of damage that way.
I was about to say.
I keep thinking it's only instant sorcery, which is why I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
because like they've done this whole like spells theme 70 times in limited in recent sets, and it keeps flip flopping. Like sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other. It's like
for some period they were like, no, we probably shouldn't do non-creature. It's confusing, and then they've gone back to having prowess, and
yeah, like
at least they're back on the trade-off. We like prowess.
Yeah, I mean, I think prowess is a good mechanic.
Flip flopping on that for a bit now.
I also think that like prowess is a lot more of a versatile mechanic. Is the thing. with respect to just caring about instant and sorceries, which allows you to do things in a way that is more
thematical.
Not there, but like it allows you to like the thing is that like in order to, for example, let's say that you're making this mechanic for limited, right? You're trying to kind of build things in such a way that you in order to pay somebody to have a bunch of sorcery in the deck, the payoff need to be a lot bigger. Whereas with prowess A, you can actually like you can cross over a lot easier because maybe you have your prowess maybe you have blue prowess creatures, right? And when you're playing blue-white, they care about artifacts, and we play blue-red, they care about spells, and everybody's happy. But also, like, you also can put, because it's easier to trigger, you can kind of make it so that your payoffs are smaller while the cards are still playable.
This is actually quite interesting, not to interrupt you too much, but I really want to see what happens here, because Greycrow, that's actually completely irrelevant. So, depending on what Lucas does here, because if Lucas attacks here with everything, he loses. Probably.
Really?
Not guaranteed, but there's a good chance of losing then.
I mean, doesn't Luca... Oh no, because the Ashes
So if everything attacks, this is what happens. You block the zombie token with your 2-1 or the 3-1, and then you block the
yeah, like basically what's gonna when the dust settle,
so it has to block the 4/3
when the Ashes Zealot, Wolfgang is gonna have a Nash Zealot up to his Skull Clamp, and Luca is gonna have a tapped Rolling Regisaur. That's what's happened. That's what happens
essentially. So I think what is more likely is that we don't see Lucas cast anything, and depending on what Wolfgang draws.
Luca disagrees with you. Luca is turning his guys sideways.
Never mind. So they're willing to trade 3-1 and 2-2 for admittedly a better set of creatures, but they're also tapping out, which means that a bolt here is lethal, which it wasn't prior, for example.
Yeah. Notably, the Voltaic Brawler gets
also
killed
means
in
that they don't give their opponents the chance to skull clamp their way to victory.
Yeah. Notably, also the Voltaic Brawler had trample, but it got killed by Fair Strike damage. Also, notably,
that's what I'm saying.
This Grave Crawler
exactly why you wanted
block.
the Ash Zealot to block like that. Because otherwise you would have did it. Now, it just so happened that you kind of need to get desperate here. So here's your hope. You play the land and you pass.
Also, notably, this Gravecrawler is a zombie, which means that
Wolfgang took that chance of winning this game and threw it away.
Oh, how? What happened?
Wolfgang actually had a chance of winning.
How?
If they didn't realize it. It wasn't great. It wasn't high at any means. But if they attack, and you let your actually no, you would have been dead anyways. Never mind, that was wrong.
What's I don't understand what's the line. I guess.
Yeah, they looked at top 2. Yeah, I forgot there was 2 creatures, and then if one of the opponent's creatures had first strike, ironically, then you would have had a chance of
right. Oh, it's also awkward that both of these creatures are zombies. So even if somehow you kill both of them, like. Because you can have the Sarcomancy help you a little bit, but...
Well, I really don't like Lucas's choice of attacking like that, because like you really just give your opponent a chance to just draw something.
Yeah, but your opponent also has like
your
opponent, you kind of don't have anything in time.
Like any one toughness creature, especially the 1-mana one, is suddenly quite scary. Okay, so this is a great hand from Lucas and a terrible hand from Wolfgang.
Oh my!
Like this is what I think Lucas's deck should be doing, if anything, not playing all of those cutesy
playing Path Collectors and Bolts. Yeah, those cards are good. There's an Elvish Spirit Guide coming up.
Instead of playing all these cutesy like Madness cards can be fine if you make a deck around them. I just don't think Lucas's deck is all in enough to really play anything but like Asylum Visitor and such. That's about it, actually. Asylum Visitor is probably the only card I play off the top of my mind. I think it's fine to have some Vengevines and such, and some random discard outlets in like Rotting Register and such. I think those can be considered. But I don't think I don't really like all these random, weird artifact graveyard things and discard things that Lucas has tried, because it's trying to do for something that you can only do once in a blue moon, quite frankly. So from Lucas's side here, you want to turn 1 the Elf here and get a bit greedy, I think. never mind. That 2-drop could change things. Wolfgang has the Oops All removal hand, including a pretty nice removal spell there, Legendary Flow, which notably exiles a creature permanently.
Right. As opposed to
If it
exiling
goes-
them. Okay, actually, I was about to say, as opposed to exiling them not permanently, and then there's actually a lot of things to exile things not permanently. It turns out that was kind of a dumb point.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, they can get brought out of the exile, so technically that's incorrect.
No,
It's not
I mean,
necessarily permanent.
but like all the O-rings effect, right? Exile a card not permanently. Ephemerate exiles a
True.
card not
True
permanently.
in that manner,
Like,
I suppose.
there's a lot of things that exile cards not permanently. It turns out. I would have
This is
taken
probably
the
just gonna
opportunity
be
to
a,
exile them. Oh, you're already
Actually,
used
this
it.
is interesting. Now, of course, you didn't know that your opponent had another creature that was really good to get out of the graveyard, but I think the Trawler is probably... it's probably actually the least threatening to. It depends, actually. I'm not sure. In the late game, I think I'm more afraid of... Actually, I think I'm more afraid of the other one, yeah, in respect. Like,
Oh,
it's more likely that
he
my
chose to
opponent has
exile the
creature in graveyard.
Skyclave Shade with the... I mean...
Yep, it is indeed Skyclave Shade.
Yeah. I mean,
The new
the
card.
thing is that there were two, like, both Skyclave Shade and Scrap Heap Scrounger are pretty solid
Yeah.
graveyard cards, right? So...
Yeah, like, Glove for solid. And you don't know your opponent has a Scrappy Scrounger, so by no means do I think that this was a misplay on Wolfgang's behalf. Chooses to play the Kagan here. I think that's
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm assuming it gets bolted before
yeah.
Luhan taps.
I mean, there's no way you play the Kiki-Pod, the Lightning Strike, or the Castle Royal Rocks in here. What I did consider was if it was worth playing the figure and passing
Right.
with that instead.
And sadly, this Fanatical Fire, sadly for Luhan, this Fanatical Firebrand will get to trade with the Spell Collector, which I don't think is particularly controversial to say it's a more valuable
Here comes the
creature.
Ring of Line.
I don't like Kraken in response though, because you can block this Vengevine and then kill the Spell Collector at that point.
Yep.
Like you're hand of the him for damage for free here.
No, you're not.
Hmm?
Because the creature would get grow if you allowed it to resolve.
Oh, you're right. You have to do it that way.
It's very important that you actually do it in this
No,
manner.
you're absolutely right. Well, I mean this
Notably, though,
this
Wolfgang
Enchantress
has
flow
probably-
this Enchantress flow was
So-
good, but it
so
gets
this is
kind
what
of like again, this is the third
No,
creature that if you're Wolfgangcloud you would have loved to kill with Incendiary Flow, right? And it's like great, I got to kill one. Can I have two more of these, please?
And we actually see Lucas having the trigger here for the Vengevine, just really putting Wolfgang on the back foot here. And this is what I'm saying. Like these are the kind of draws that I think you just play the solid creatures.
It doesn't
Am I
trigger
remember-
Vengevine because
It's
it doesn't
only
cast the
cast?
Scrap Heap
It's
Scoundrel.
cast only, right? Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, wait, no, it's only cast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
That's
maybe
why
that's-
you remember. I remember talking about Modern. That's why you have to do all this salvage Titan.
Yeah, that's why.
shenanigans in
That's what I
order
remember
to
as well. So
do-
it's like,
to
I
get
was
your
literally
Vengevine.
thinking about that for Rebels. Like,
Yeah.
wait, how does it work again?
Yeah. As opposed to because your
Which is exactly why Lucas chose. And this is
Narcomoebas.
one thing I do dislike about something like Vengevine. While it's quite good in a list like this that has a fair bit of creatures that can get cast from the graveyard, I think
Yeah.
a notable amount of those just get put onto the battlefield, so that's kind of awkward.
yeah, but like it's
And
not.
you usually don't keep creatures in hand in an aggro deck.
It's true.
And then the
but
question is
it's
a format of 4/3 haste good enough? And it's just
Yeah,
not.
I mean, it's not a 4-mana 4/3 haste isn't amazing,
best-
but it's
the
not
best thing to
that
do with
far off,
Vengevine
right?
is
Like
to
it's a
play it
really
early, but-
pretty reasonable card.
Yeah, it's fine. I definitely don't dislike it as much as certain other cards in this deck. I can find 10 cards probably to cut before it. Quick correction, I can find 10 cards to cut before it.
Right.
So sadness after I lost the match to Symbolman, or after I beat Symbolman, I of course got faced against Bailite, who clearly beat me 2-0 in 2 non-existent games of Magic, and of course Symbolman got paired up against Rakdos Warriors.
And won.
Well, I'm not liking my chances. He's 1-0 right now against Rakdos Warriors.
Well, to be fair, as weird as it sounds, like the Bailite matchup isn't as good as bad as it seems for the red deck wins.
To
And
be
that's
fair, I
purely
kept a hand
because
of
of
3 land
Bailite.
Skull Clamp Mox and 2 creatures, and then at the end of the game, I had drawn 10 lands
Oh,
in one game, and that
you
was
clamp,
just...
man.
This Rampaging Ferocidon is about to get dismembered
Usually
with
when you have the
great
clamp
haste.
and you're like, I drew 10 lands, you're kind of like, park, dude.
And then the other game, Daylight had an Inquisition where if he didn't have the Inquisition, I had lethal. It's unfortunate.
Yeah. So usually, that might actually be an interesting question if you want to take the 2 damage to cast Dismember here.
I think.
Because you have the Vengevine in the graveyard, I think it's 100% correct to just immediately slam it.
Yeah.
And just put on the
exactly.
pressure.
Luca is thinking about it. I would probably take the 2.
Yeah.
I
Admittedly,
would
just
definitely
wouldn't
be
take
taking 2
Dismember.
to kill this first.
I mean-
it feels like it's the worst removal in this day and age, honestly.
Here you kind of got rewarded though, because now he gets to go Dismember for 2,
Oh,
play the Crowl Harpooner, play the Bone Picker because the Dismember died,
oh yeah, baby.
and that brings back the Vengevine.
Oh,
We'll see if he sees this line, but
no, don't. No. Lucas, you're making
No,
a
he
mistake.
can't fight
Lucas,
anything.
why are you taking damage? Lucas,
what?
what are you doing?
Oh yeah,
You're
he
taking
could have-
damage.
yeah.
Why are
taking
you
1
taking
extra
damage?
He took kind of damage for free, yeah.
Yeah, Blahguy stuck on 2 lands down a game and has a 1/1 in play. I don't like Blahguy's chances, which is sad. I beat Symbolman. That should have counted. That should have been enough.
Too bad. Too sad. Can I hear it?
And here comes the
So,
Vengevine.
Notably, like, even though there's an incredibly powerful swing here, like, the game isn't.
No, the
necessarily
game,
over here,
Luca
just,
has
like-
not won the game, but this turn, like,
Because
put
on one
him from
hand,
a
he
little
chooses to
bit,
get a
being a little
crescent
bit
here.
on the defensive to like now he's actually.
Yeah, I will say though, this went from, yeah, I think Wolfgang is in a fine position to.
Yeah, no, the
oh
game's not
God,
over, but I
Wolfgang.
think the advantage bar now is like I think the advantage bar
Yeah, it
was
just
not in
kind of, like,
Luca's favor,
fell
and
over
now
on
he
the
is in
side.
Luca's favor.
Like, normally I've been like, yeah, you should probably just play this member there, hope to draw a creature.
Yeah,
That's actually not
he got
bad at
rewarded
all.
is what he did because he wouldn't have been
Yeah,
able to play the.
So
the
actually,
Bone Pig.
what you do here is you cry. You were expecting something else, weren't you?
Yes. This.
I mean, you get the Lightning Strike, and then don't you get the...
Yeah, but Baraning is
Barbarian
live
something?
after this.
So here's something notable, right? If you don't pump your figure, it's just a 1/1.
Yeah, but you can pump figure, you can Lightning Strike. Next turn, you
Well,
get
if you pump the
Barbarian.
figure, well, you can't pump figure, cast Lightning Strike, and activate your Barbarian Ring.
No, but you can do 2 this turn and 1 next turn.
Yeah. I think what your plan can be something. But you need to block with your creatures. That's the part that's awkward.
Yeah, you
Currently,
the Pyromancer
any
trades with
creature are
something.
legal
The
right
Figure
now,
of
right?
Destiny can trade with something if you put a mana into it, right? This
But
Lightning
here's
Strike
the-
gets to kill the Vengevine, and then you get to kill the Bone Picker
please-
next turn.
yeah. Currently, you're in a situation where you have to block 2 creatures and still kill a creature to survive. Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Bloodgust.
But noticeably, one of those can come back from the graveyard.
Bloodgust is just lethal here.
Yeah, Bloodgust take this from possibly quite upward.
Bloodgust is
to,
not lethal.
haha, I'm
You go to
8.
1.
So
it?
you've lightning
that's
strike the Vengevine.
And it's you go to 1, but suddenly that Barbarian Ring is looking even more awkward.
Yeah. So you lightning. You go lightning strike your Vengevine. You pump the figure.
Yeah. I really feel like Crawl Harpoon is just completely overrated. It's a fine card. But
It's okay. Like I mean, this is not the matchup that you wanted, right? But even then, it is above rate.
True.
Like,
but
like,
what is the matchup
even
you
if
wanted
this card is just Terran Elemental is not that crazy bad. It's still above rate.
I've never said it's bad. I just feel like there's better options like Karg and Intimidator more consistently. If that's like that kind of route you want to go. Like, you're playing 3 colors, you should have some really freaking good 2-drops. Where's Carry 7?
That's true.
Where's this? Where's that? Why are you playing Loam? Why?
Okay, he opts to Barbarian Ring the
I
Bone
swear, Lucas is actively doing this to torment me.
So, Figure of Destiny gets to trade with the Bloodcast here. Biashino Pyromancer
And then the only correct lineup. So what we missed here is like Lucas Wolfgang actually made a misplay and didn't target himself with Lightning Strike and Barbarian Ring.
Symbolman just beat Blahguy.
So no, it's fine. Like, so Wolfgang goes to 3 here, right? Because he can trade his 2 creatures for the opponent's 2 creatures.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
super awkward because like if Luca finds a
there's
land,
actually a slight argument, and I think it's incorrect. But there's a slight argument to not even like chump block with the Boros, the creature.
Oh, he's going to 1.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think in what
these
scenario
block
that's
I really disagree with. These block I seem
No, you block the block gas and you hope your opponent draws nothing.
No, this block is fine. If you draw skew or if you draw light up the stage now, you have outs.
No. With that said, Luca did it. He went 2-0. He went 2-2. He got
Yeah, I didn't do it. I did not.
Yeah, I mean,
Badness.
who cares about you? You know what, Godsmith, just keep... how about this? I'm gonna... Oh, actually, we probably still have matches coming in, don't we? Let me double check that.
I'm going to stare contest with the camera, honestly.
But yeah, at the end of this event, you just like say things, and I'm gonna upgrade things so that we are...
just running them.
But like right now, yeah, like I want to have the time to. So Evios 2-1 Bailite.
I think we can do the quote-unquote fake numbers just once, if you know what I mean. Just like temporarily, just throw the numbers in that we know should be there, instead of like actually filling out the full shebang.
Right, but I mean, filling up's easy, right? It's all automated, like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
We
have Bailite's game is over, and Lucas and Wolfgang's game is over.
Right,
and
so we have Luca got there.
So we have Bailite, we have
1.
Sorry, not Bailite, Blahguy, and who else?
We have Evios. Sorry, we have Zannty, Bailite 2-0 Zannty. Bailite, yeah, and then we have Evios, Brahms, and Symbolman Blahguy as the last 2. Let's watch Symbolman and Blahguy, right? I think that's the match that has. Oh, that match is just over. Never mind.
At least it's with 1 game.
So those are some very tense games between me and Luca.
Yup.
I mean, they were tense specifically because of the implications of the match, right? Luca had a win and in for the finals.
Yeah.
So it was really.
Hey, you know what a card I think you really want your opponent to draw when you're on mono red? Feed the Swarm.
Oh, that's what they had.
Truly a beautiful remove spell. Like, we definitely don't have better options in John.
Yeah, in the All of John, you can play like Assassin's Trophy and stuff like that. Look,
like, I'm sorry.
If you're playing like mono black or red black, I can get. Like, if you're playing mono black or red black, I can get it because that's one of the few ways that you have to actually remove an enchantment.
Like,
but you're playing green!
Yeah, like, I'm looking at this list and I'm like, some of the cards make me go, oh, is this a budget deck? But then the rest of them are making me go, no, it's definitely not a budget deck. What is your excuse?
I think
I made this on a time budget. I put it together quickly.
That's a bit more fair, I'll admit. Though there are some cards that I just feel like you should
I think that actually, while I was starting to get set up to watch Evios versus Brahms, they just finished. Symbolman 2-0 Blahguy. And Evios 2-1 Brahms.
Yeah, so it seems we actually have all the results now.
Yeah, we do.
Like Redman.
Yeah. That's absolutely my name.
Like Red Mage said, Red Mage will just be going off here on a little bit of a journey into the land of data. Yeah. And while we're doing that, I think it's actually just.
You can talk about a little bit about the tournament structure, and also we have the other end of tournament stuff to talk about. But...
So tournament structure. We're talking specifically finals here?
Yeah, like how the finals are playing and what's going on there.
Yeah. I'm actually not completely sure on everything, like the specific of the brackets, but we're gonna be doing 2 brackets of 4 people. So on one hand we have side A and side B, which will have, I believe, first place in the first bracket, as long with 8th place, and then I don't know what other 2 places are gonna be in that bracket.
I will be honest, I don't
have
remember terribly well myself. I'll have to double check.
It should be 1, 3, or 1, 4, and 6. 1, 4, 6, 8.
It's probably 1,
No, it'd
4,
be 1
5, 6, and then
Yeah, 1, 4, 5, 8, if anything.
Yeah, no, it should probably be 1, 4, 5, 6.
1, 6, 1.
No,
4,
sorry, 1, 4, 6, 7, and then
Yeah, 1, 4, 6, 7.
and then 2, 3, 5, 8, something like that.
Huh.
I think.
That really depends on how you.
I guess that actually does make sense.
Balanced.
Kinda. Yeah, I'll admit I haven't thought too much about it, but we have the 2 split, and then we have.
I spent some time figuring out the optimal way some time ago. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to.
It's really hard to explain these kind of things without the visuals, but
it's not terribly
imagine
important.
2 trees with 2 matches on each side. Once we have eliminated, yes, first place is 1 and 4. So we have elimination. Also, we have the 2 quote-unquote finalists from each of the brackets in 2 elimination matches. Those then go ahead and face each other for the first quote-unquote finals, the winners' finals. Then we have, whenever you lose, you go to the losers bracket, which is your chance of redemption. Once you lose a match in the losers bracket, that means you're out for good of the top 8. I think the stream might have stopped. That might have also just been... No, that was just on my end. Sorry. So once you lose the losers bracket and you're out, sorry, if you win the losers bracket, you continue going, and the last person standing in the losers bracket will then go against the winner of the winners bracket in the last match. However, to make up for the fact that the person in the winners bracket technically has not lost a game yet, that means that first they will have to lose a best of 3. I believe maybe we have discussed best of 5 before, but I believe we're going to do best of 3 once again. Will be discussed again. No. And then we'll have to lose another game for the person who went from the losers bracket to win. So they still kind of have the 2 games, if you get the point. Whereas the person who went through the losers bracket to get to the last and final match has technically already lost one of the 2 health or life points or whatever you want to call it, chances. So in that manner, once you get the final 2, let's play it out. Yes. The winner has to win 2 and 4, loser has to win 3 and 4. That's correct. That's a cleaner way of explaining it. It's hard to really explain this without visuals somehow. Especially when they're not prepared. But no. We're gonna be streaming it all. We're gonna try and have the people who are playing in a tournament, perhaps even some people who aren't playing in a tournament, just commentating on the matches and just having a great time as always. It's not gonna be much different from this, except the fact that it'll be, like as we said, well, it'll be noticeably longer because we'll have more matches, and it'll also be noticeably more focused on people choosing specific decks to counter what they expect, and we'll be focusing on each match till it's done, instead of just kind of have like jumping in midways in a match and not having seen what went on before. So we'll be seeing all matches in full, presumably. Actually, no, wait. Do we do the 2 matches at a time or something? Just
we don't get to see all the matches.
We did last time, didn't we?
There's some concurrent matches.
Yes, we do some
because in total the final is something like, you know, it requires playing a total of like 23 matches or something. We can't.
Yeah, so it's 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's 7 matches, and that's just to find the first winner. And then you have all the losers bracket, and then you have the 2 to 3 games. Sorry, not games. The 1 to 2 matches you'll have in the finals bracket winner versus the losers bracket winner. I'm not sure how many games you have the losers bracket, so it's probably somewhere in the round of 15 or so quite easily. Plus, which is why, if we want to keep this in a 4 to 6 hours, probably closer to 5 to
It's
6.
probably gonna be 5-ish
let's say.
if I had
Yeah.
to guess. Yeah.
Oh, it seems like this is an old one. I think.
Yeah, that was not. That was
I'm
wasn't
pretty
it.
sure I have
but-
not played this season whatsoever, actually. For the sake of other people, yes. Not because I'm a coward. I can't block warriors.
Alright, here is
Yes,
our.
gotta love this formatting. Ah, there we go. 10 out
I
of 10.
was working on it.
control.
Okay, like chill. Jeez.
Can't resist. Can't resist.
Okay, so here is our final. Oh wow, we have here is all these idiots that all these robots they're trying to.
Oh,
the-
lovely
the-
stuffs.
We have a bunch of robots in chat, so let me get rid of all of them.
Lovely stuff.
Goodbye. Okay, so the 8 players that are gonna be qualified for the finals are Evios first with 94 points. As a reminder, the worst 2 showings are dropped for each player. So
in this case, it'd be week 4 and one of the 8-point weeks for EViews.
But for example, Wolfgang did not missed week 5, right? And that's kind of the reasoning behind this. Like, look, life happens. We don't want to put an unduly burden on people to have to be there every single week, because we know life is complicated. Sometimes you have to, I don't know.
But then again, we also want people to just not show up for one tournament, go 4-0, and just call it, haha, I'm done. I had the best win.
Well, there is a balance. There is a balance to strike there within having somebody just show up for the tournaments and spike it, and having people be able to miss a week and still be competitive. So that's kind of what we're doing. So Evios is first and Wolfgang is second. Those are the people that will receive that will start with the 2 buys. Blahguy and Cymbalman are tied for 3rd and 4th.
Likewise,
we'll figure out a good way to actually.
Can you figure that out tonight?
Indeed.
I mean, it doesn't affect you.
It does.
It does, because that's who you.
It affects pretty much
who's in
everyone,
your
right?
bracket. Yeah. No. So I'm gonna figure out how to decide. I might just have them face each other, to be perfectly honest, and play a game of.
I mean, I would say you should go by total score, but their total score is also
it's also the same. So yeah, that was my first tiebreaker. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Cymbalman has a single event win.
He has a tournament
that
win,
guy
which
does.
I think
Blahguy
that's a pretty
doesn't.
good argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Either way, we'll talk to the players. And then the people that are qualified in the lower brackets are Zannty, Bailite, Brahms, and Luca, who's quicked in today at the last minute.
Just edging out Einstein, who has
just
not been able
edging
to
it
do
out.
the last.
I mean, Einstein hasn't been here at this point for like a month, so it's not sad that he is now gone forever.
Not
And by gone forever, I mean that we'll probably see him next season. With that said, these are gonna be 8 players that qualify for the finals, and exciting stuff. We will. If you're not my friend on Discord, please friend me on Discord. That is I think that I do need to mention, because I will.
If we are your friend, can we unfriend you?
I mean, you can.
I need to put all of you in the same group chat, basically, so we can talk about.
As long as you friend him,
I'll be in contact shortly. Gosmith and I will be in contact shortly to figure out exactly how we are going to do things in terms of like timing and organization and that stuff. So yeah, let's. I'll throw you into a group chat later today. I want thanks everybody for watching. Cosmic, why don't you give us a few reminders? Why don't you go through the end of tournament announcements while I quickly figure out who we're gonna raid.
Yeah. So once again, thank you for watching. This has been Canadian Highlander 10-point series. We still, as always, we are a purely non-profit tournament. And
I wouldn't go so far. We're not an ONG, but we are.
Look, I'm chilling out, okay? This is what you asked me to do. Don't blame me for doing what you asked me to do.
I mean, well, that's true. It is. I do want to confirm to people that we are not actually an ONG, and the results of the 10th point do go towards the 10th point. It's just that we are right now. What we're doing is.
What we're trying to say is you definitely can bribe us. I mean, what?
We have what Gosmin is trying to say is that we have very competitive bribal rates, so you should.
We give 1 extra point to everyone who subbed to the chat. I mean, what?
Wait, I'm a sub. Does that make me tie?
That's a tiebreaker.
Gosmin,
I
we
am
need
also
to
a
talk
sub.
about this stuff beforehand.
I mean, if
I'm
we're
a
giving
6 foot
points
sub. That
to
gives me
subs,
6 points, right? That's how that works.
Yeah, definitely. Confirmed, and this is definitely not sarcastic or anything.
Or in any way,
Except
shape,
what
or
the part,
form.
except the part where it is, of course. But we don't. talk
Our
about that
tournament
too
definitely has no semblance of tournament integrity in any way, shape, or form.
much. No, except for like the parts where we do have integrity, but we don't mention those either. Just make you look bad.
Do I want? You know what? F it. Let's do it. We'll go hang out with
Just say FYI,
Canlander.
if it's important for you.
Canlander
We
human.
can see your browser still, if that's important.
What?
We can still see your browser if that's of interest to you.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Just being sure.
Wait,
So that once you pull
what?
up porn or something even worse, like I'm trying to find something that would be worse. Elsa and Spider-Man videos. Ugh.
So what the place I'm gonna send you is to friend of Canlander human and friend of the show Samsoni one. I cannot guarantee that he is a friend of the show, but he's a Canlander human.
Well, you just
He's
said
in the
he
Discord
was.
one. Look, I say a lot of things that I'm not positive about. Okay, like let's do not that
Rule number 1: we lie.
we do lie like a lot. It's kind of sad. We're working on it.
I'm not.
Okay, fine. The part that we're working on it was also a lie. You got me. Either way, I'm gonna thanks everybody for being here. You should sign up for the 10th point. Again, exclamation point Discord. If you are watching this on YouTube, link is gonna be in the description down below. All of the jazz. Sub to us if you think we're awesome. Spoilers, we're not awesome, but we'll take your sub money anyway.
We do our best.
So yeah, I'll see you on the other side of the raid. Bye.